Davey, I was watching a Mets game last week when they played Tampa Bay, and the pitchers had to it's a minor league park. So you don't have the luxuries that you have in a major league.
Triple A.
Right.
It's single A, Tampa.
So you don't, but they still have to have it nice enough for the Yankees to play there in spring training. But you don't have the luxuries that you have when you're in a major league stadium.
But
so
the Yankees
if they call if a pitcher gets called, for giving up 3 runs, they got to walk by all of the fans to it's.
But in the Yankees clubhouse, the new one that they got at George Steinbrenner that the Tampa Bay Devil Rays are using, they got new heated indoor hot tubs and a weight room and everything.
That's nice. So it's a nice little spot.
Yeah.
That should be standard, though.
Well, they updated
for that level.
They updated it to the state of the art. They said
hot tubs and a weight room and stuff should be pretty standard, though.
So Aaron Boone was complaining.
That's right, because there are high schools that have that. Right.
Aaron Boone was complaining last night because he couldn't give the signs to the first base coach and the third base coach because of the view. Because he was saying on the postgame show that when he's out there in the summertime, he sits on a regular chair outside the dugout. So for tonight's game, he's got to sit in a better position to find a better view so he can give the singles to Rojas and the first base coach.
I once did
is that his biggest problem?
I once did I once used to do when I was doing high school baseball, and I had a play-by-play person. We were doing Little Falls Mets baseball and high school baseball, and my color commentator would do like a couple of innings. I would do the beginning and I would do the end, and a couple in the middle. He'd do a couple, the catcher gets the single from the pitcher. The pitcher gets the single from the catcher. And I would say it's single when they go to first base. It's signal when the pitcher gets the signal from the. Well, listen, sometimes people say those things, right?
Sometimes people switch the letters around just a little bit.
You hear that even, believe it or not, in the media. Or the media is what one guy I used to work with used to say. Yeah,
the media.
Okay, well, listen, we have a ton to get to, and I do have to say, when news is broken here on this show, we all know it. Other members of the media love to steal it and just take it for their own and never give credit where credit is due. In a moment, I'm going to read from the Rome Sentinel, otherwise known as the Sentinel, because they did the work on the story, and I'm just going to share some of it with you. And it actually works out to be promotion for them. But it's the courteous thing to do, isn't it? Isn't it? It is.
Give them due credit.
Give somebody due credit. Whereas whenever we get it, it's like, oh, my God, did you hear what they did on Keeler this morning? Quickly, let's get over there, get an interview, and make it our own, and we won't say a word out of jealousy, hatred. I have made a few enemies over the years.
Yeah,
Jeff
I would
Manaske.
imagine. I would imagine that you have.
Here's the problem. And I think this is real. This is 100% real. If you give anyone a microphone for 3 hours, something's going to come out of their mouth that isn't going to be as kosher as they want it to be.
Well, especially nowadays. I mean, if you don't agree 1,000% with every word that everyone says,
that is true.
You're my enemy.
You are the enemy. You are the enemy. You know what today is? Today is Good Friday. I was yelled at by my wife when I got home because I was confusing Good Friday with the day that Jesus rises. It's the day he was crucified, of course. But it's, like I said, I'm on the radio 3 hours. Give me a microphone. Anything can come out of my mouth by mistake.
Oh, you look wise.
Okay, we're done playing that. That is the Easter Parade, by the way. I was looking for the song. Is Easter Parade the one that does the whole In Your Easter Bonnet? I don't know.
This is Christmas, isn't it?
This is Easter. I don't know why why. It just plays for a little bit and then stops for some reason. But apparently it doesn't want us to play it. I'll take that as a hint. This morning on the program, Ryan Schmelz, will speak with him coming up in a few minutes. Ryan from Fox News Radio, Willie Waffle for the streaming and movies and all that for the weekend. I don't know what you're watching, but there's a lot of really good stuff out there. The problem is there are a lot of things out there that, do you really want to start a new series? Do you really? Because these things, I kind of enjoy every once in a while when you find something and it's a movie. So it's one and done. You're going to reach fruition within 2.5 hours or 3 hours. You can wrap it up. Otherwise, you've opened up a whole new can of worms and you have a new series to watch. It'll be 8 episodes before you can find out what really happens. And then sometimes they're leading you into the next season and you don't get what you want.
So I saw a critic online discussing shows in general, and he attributed it to like the streaming. Netflix, let's just say, or Prime Video, where all these series come out, and the first couple episodes are designed to hook you, and then they just spin. They just spin round and round.
Right, because they really would be better off if they were a movie that they could wrap up in 3 hours.
Right, and it's just designed to draw you along and watch another episode. And while this was a TV show, the one I'm going to mention, there was a little bit of this on Sopranos, too, but the one I'm thinking of right now is
I almost feel like
Walking Dead.
I almost feel like Sopranos there would be a few episodes that weren't all that good, but that show just somehow made it to the end. I mean, it never jumped the shark.
Well,
maybe
the whole Vito thing, the whole, like...
That was a little odd.
I don't think any other single character got like a half a season where it was just, what's Vito doing?
Well, Vito was in the truck, and it was the other guy that he was doing, if you remember. Do you remember Vito, though? It was really something, and I didn't realize this. I have all this signed memorabilia from Vito. Ganaskelly? Anyway, I do remember when who was Tony Soprano was Gandolfini.
Right.
When Gandolfini died, Ganaskelly was doing interviews all over the place. And then we spoke to a few characters that were main characters who said, that he really barely even knew Gandolfini.
Right.
He's out. The cast is all bothered by him doing all of these interviews all over the country as if he and Gandolfini were close, and they never were. He was a short character, like a short-term character on the show. Remember, because didn't he end up dying and they shot him and pushed him into the water or something?
Well, Vito,
at some point,
Vito got beaten to death by Leo.
Well, you're right.
With the silver hair
on this. Oh,
with the silver hair, right? And they found him in the hotel room.
Yeah.
And then, as the storyline went, he had a pool cue.
If stuck in an area where this is what you get if you do that, they were very homophobic on The Sopranos.
Right.
Nonetheless,
and it was Ganaskelly.
Ganaskelly.
We were very close.
Yeah, he would travel and claim to be, but once Gandolfini died, Ganaskelly was thought to be kind of somebody who was trying to make a name for himself off the death of Gandolfini, and a lot of the characters were really bothered by that. Throughout all that, we spoke with several of them. Janice we had on the air at one point. Meadow we had on the air at one point. We had 3 or 4 of the characters from Sopranos. Was there not a bigger show in the world than Sopranos? And that was the first to really start this whole streaming world. The HBO world, the non-network television world that we live in today. It's pretty wild. What else do I have here? The the Sentinel did a very helpful story for us. And coming up in November, and I believe there'll be a primary here in June, the city of Utica, their common council members will be up for re-election.
Okay.
And there are several who are going to be running for common council. and there are some who are going to be having a contest and a half. And who did the Sentinel? The Daily Sentinel did the work on this one. In the first ward, Katie Aiello is currently there. She has a couple of challengers. Cira Responti is a Republican challenger. Right now, she does not have a Democratic challenger, so she won't have a primary. In the second ward, it's Burmaster. Robert Burmaster is the incumbent. He'll be getting a challenge from two Republicans, Lefkowitz and Randall. And that is in the ward number 2. Third ward, Joe Bitar is getting a challenge from a Republican, Scott Walrath. In the fourth, Frank Carcone is the Republican. We'll speak with him coming up on Monday about this fire department situation. He has a Democrat challenging him. Venice Irvin is the Democratic incumbent. I don't even know who this person. I didn't.
Oh, Venice Irvin. Yeah.
Venice Irvin.
Yes.
I don't think. I think he's running unopposed right now. Joe Beatrice, our man, running unopposed in the 6th ward, and the at-large seats. Samantha Colosimo Testa will be running. Jack Lemetico, Heather Wasilewski, Rich Tomeno, Richard Dilberto. 3 positions are available for the at-large, and there are 2 additional challengers in there. And then for comptroller, did you see that Mike Sermonaro and Frank Miola are going to be running head-to-head?
Are you serious?
A little old-school Utica politics right there, running head-to-head for comptroller, as Bill Morehouse will have termed out.
I didn't know Mike Sermonaro was getting back into it.
I did not know that either. Let me go to the man, Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio, on the line right now. Ryan, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Good Friday.
It's going to be a good Friday, I believe. A good Friday. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has made some news saying that if they can't solve this Ukraine-Russian war, we're just going to be done with it. What it sounds like. What does it mean?
Well, I mean, it sounds like the United States involvement in just trying to negotiate some type of peace deal between the two nations is just on the rocks, and that they're ready to potentially not be involved anymore, at least to some extent. So, I mean, that's quite a statement for Rubio to be making, especially when, the Trump administration promised on day one that they would end this war. And they've put quite a significant amount of effort into doing so. And it was something that Republicans, both Ukraine supporters and Ukraine skeptics, could unite around on the campaign trail. But, the relationship between President Trump and both Zelensky and Putin has gotten significantly worse since he took office. Yeah. I mean, you have the spat in the Oval Office with Zelensky. You've had multiple statements Trump has made, either on Truth Social or to the press about him. And, of course, you have the infamous interview he had with NBC News where he bashed Putin because he was livid that Putin wasn't accepting his ceasefire deals.
Yeah, this is, there was a lot of stuff on day one, right? There are a lot of things, and I'm still going to be paying a lot for those eggs my kids are going to be coloring this weekend, although they're a little old to color eggs. They probably aren't going to do it. I'll just eat the eggs. Nonetheless, there was that. There has been a lot here that he has thought would be solved on day one and hasn't. The problem you have with, I feel, with this Russia thing is Putin is, I think Putin likes to make people think that he's your friend. This guy, you just can't forget, is quite the brilliant former KGB agent, and is one you really can't trust, I'm afraid. Vladimir Putin.
And it's just not the relationship that Trump had, or it's also not the situation that, Trump was in with Putin when it came to, maybe the 2016, 2020 era of Trump, when, Putin was not at war with the country then. Yeah. Now he's at war, and he does not want to leave and take an L unless he gets something out of it. And, of course, that has led to him and Trump having some spats back and forth. But at the same time, Trump still faces those same criticisms that it panders to Putin, that he gives Putin the benefit of the doubt and trusts him way too much. We've had some Republicans like Don Bacon make similar statements like that. So, I mean, this is and the administration may want to be careful in some ways with this, too, because, remember, they've got a lot of things they're trying to pass. And just if you tick off one or two Republicans who are in the pro-Ukraine wing of the party, they can sink any piece of legislation. That has been threatened by some of them before in the past.
I just knew it was going to be ugly watching 60 Minutes last week when they were interviewing Zelensky, and the question came up about who started the war and some of the rhetoric that came from President Trump. And asked Zelensky about it. He tried to kind of stay away from it, but he just said, well, there's a lot of Russian rhetoric in the United States right now, is really what he said. But I knew that was going to anger the president. The next day, Trump was talking about it and reiterated that, well, you shouldn't have started a war that you couldn't win. And once again, indicating that Zelensky had started this war. So that tension between Trump and Zelensky just kind of was intensified just a little bit after the 60 Minutes interview. And then, of course, he went off on 60 Minutes. So interesting. Yeah, it is all. It's when you really look at some of the video of Ukraine, how much that country has been decimated. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and I believe there was a story not too long ago where President Trump's spiritual leader, or it's one of his spiritual advisors in the White House, actually paid for his own trip to Ukraine because he just wanted to see it for himself. And he came back pretty shocked by what he saw. Let's just put it that way. He was, kind of talking about how, you come back, you're very pro-Ukraine after that. And I think a lot of people understand that this has been a nation that has been, remember, this country was supposed to be taken over in a matter of weeks, maybe even a matter of months. And we're here 3 years later. Of course, the United States has played a big role in why Ukraine has been able to not be conquered at this point, and so is Europe. But, public support for these things can wane because it is a lot of money and it's very expensive to fund a war. But at the same time, I think, this is still a huge conflict that has eaten up a lot of, a lot of the world's attention.
And let's not forget, it has eaten up a lot of resources for Russia. This is and just the embarrassment alone of not being able to just walk over this country.
Well, and as somebody pointed out, Ukraine has not been the one that's used additional troops from other countries. Yes, there have been some folks who volunteered to fight for the Ukrainians here and there, but the North Korean military has actually sent troops to Russia. And I believe there's been accusations that China's used drones and stuff like that too. But there's North Korean troops actually on the ground in Russia, and that some say that indicates just the fatigue that Russia's been going through.
Going to be interesting to see what comes of this. I thought the Rubio statement was quite remarkable. So we'll see where it all goes. Ryan, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Happy Friday. Thank you.
Happy Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio. Quick break, and I got a bunch more to get to here, and Willie Waffle coming up in a second. I do want to tell you that after the announcement by the district attorney, I thought it was very interesting in his choice of words. Did you notice when he said, we're going to take the evidence to the grand jury and we're going to see what charges they would they would be comfortable with it, however he worded it. I'll get the exact wording and play the clip. But I almost wonder, is there a possible situation where she's indicted and then they're able to, instead of putting her, she spent almost 8 years in jail. So I wonder if there's an indictment, that would give the DA's office a chance to cut a deal also. Like maybe there's time spent and probation or maybe who knows what might come out of that. Okay. But I do almost feel like the DA kind of left that door open just a little bit, and we'll talk about that with none other than Frank Policelli, who is in studio or on the phone. It's his birthday today, by the way, so we got to be good with him. Policelli wants to talk about the governor's discovery negotiations and discovery. Now, we're saying what? Discovery, all of a sudden, the rules have changed. It's very difficult for police, difficult for district attorneys' offices around the state. Do you know that someone can walk into a rapist could come in and through discovery tour the home of the person that he raped? Policelli gave me an earful, saying, "You've been hearing all that stuff from the other side. None of that is true. Discovery is fair where it is right now." He has another angle on this.
Okay.
Keep in mind, he's a defense attorney.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
He is a defense attorney. We'll speak with him, and we'll get an update on the water situation in Herkimer as well. And then we have a whole bunch more to get to here this morning on this Good Friday at WIBX.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit bmecompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Mattress Express's closeout sale on brand new leftover inventory and floor models. Right now, buy a king or queen and get a free adjustable base. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans available as well.
Are your tires tough enough for the journey ahead? The Nokian Tires Outpost tire is strong enough for getaways, but comfortable for the daily grind. The Outpost is infused with puncture-resistant fibers, assembled in North America, and covered by a pothole protection warranty. Extend your adventures with the Nokian Tires Outpost.
Find Nokian Tires Outpost tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
So I'm going to ask you, what do you do for Easter? Do you have are there people that come from, like you have siblings, right?
Yeah.
Do they come from far away to home, or is it a reunion type thing, these holidays?
No. My siblings are local. I do have some family that comes in from out of town for usually Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Easter can also be fun, of course, Easter Sunday, where the political talk rises from the dead.
Oh, geez.
And can really interrupt an Easter dinner. Are you prepared for that? I think your family's probably no different than any other.
That's true. And to be honest with you, there used to be more political discussion at the dinner table. It doesn't exist quite much anymore.
I think people stay away from it.
We're all better for it.
Yeah. I think that in our dinner situation, my father always lays down the law. There's no talk about religion. There's no talk about politics, and enough of this Yankees-Mets thing. No more talk about that either. I'm the only Mets fan in my family.
Is that right?
Everybody else is a Yankees fan. Even my kids. I can't
believe I never knew that.
Yeah, my son has a dog named Jeter. I mean, come on. Where am I going?
Yeah.
So it's just me. I am the lone Mets fan, and my wife is a Mets fan, but she doesn't follow any of it. But
so hang on. Does your father
My father's a Yankees fan.
Explicitly say that, though, at the dinner table? No talk about this or that?
I don't
or
think
it's just understood.
It doesn't get that bad.
Okay.
But, you know. And for me, what's the difference? I grew up being a Yankees fan. I mean, the days of Thurman Munson and Reggie Jackson and all that, I was a Yankees fan. But working for the Little Falls Mets changed everything for me, and I got to know people. They had, you know, from the Miracle Mets, Buddy Harrelson was a manager of the team. I mean, you just saw a whole different world working inside that atmosphere, and that's when I became a big Mets fan. And, of course, it was easy because that was like 80, 82, 81, 82, 83. By 86, the Mets had won the World Series. So
we were just talking a moment ago.
I was a Mets fan for life at that point.
About Sopranos, and there is a famous scene where Junior and Tony, they're having their Sunday dinner at Uncle June's house, and he makes the comment about he never had the makings of a varsity athlete, and then Tony tells him not to say it, and then he says it again, and Tony throws his fork, and he basically says, if you keep saying that, I'm not coming over here.
Yeah.
And he says, if you don't like what I have to say, then get out of my house. It's my house. I'll say whatever I want.
One of the great arguments, if you watched The Bear, that is the show. Davey, you got Willie calling. The Bear, which will be coming back. I love that series.
I have no idea what that is.
That is The Bear is a series about this Chicago. I believe it's Chicago. And he starts a restaurant. He comes back and his family, very dysfunctional family. One of the greatest, most tense scenes on any television or movie that I've ever seen was the episode where they had, it must have been the Christmas or Easter dinner or whatever, and the family, it was almost like one camera, and the scene went on and on and on, and it was just family argument, and it was so tense. It was hard to watch because you kind of felt like, oh my God, I'm having a flashback from some moment in my life, and we'll bring Willie into this. Willie, are you familiar with that scene from
Oh my God,
The Bear?
Yeah, The Bear. The Bear is one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
And that scene was the cinematography in that was just incredible, but the acting and the way, I don't know, it brought you right into the dinner to the point where I don't know, I couldn't sleep after that. It was terrible.
Yeah, so the episode is technically called Seven Fishes. It's basically Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
They're celebrating the Feast of the Seven Fishes, and it's boiling and boiling and boiling and boiling, and then just everything explodes.
Oh,
what's the argument about?
Just everything that's happened in their lives.
Yes, just what we were talking about. Just what we were talking. We're talking about, try to avoid that Easter dinner argument. And if there's ever a scene that you can watch that you'll be like, I do not want that to happen in our household, this would be the scene. And by the way, Willie, I can tell you agree. If you want to see, start from season 1. The Bear is one of the best things on TV currently, I think. It's a great series.
Yeah, they've done 3 seasons, but they're short seasons. I want to say they're like 10 episodes
I
a
think
pop.
so. Yeah.
And every year there's one episode. Like in the first season, there was an episode where they're working in the restaurant, and one day everything goes wrong.
Oh, that was another great one. Yes,
their throats all day long.
Yes. It was just, and then in the end, I don't want to say too much, but there's the Keeler incident. And it was just, and that was like, I would describe that as having a nightmare where you're in a vehicle going down a hill and you lose your brakes, and you just can't stop it. I mean, that show is so good if you get a chance to watch it. And if you haven't watched it, what is it on? Is it HBO?
It's FX.
Okay.
If you want to find it, you'll find it on Hulu. It streams on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
It's FX. They have this thing, they call it FX for Hulu. and they're produced by FX, but Hulu streams them, and then if something goes well, they'll pop it on FX for effects. But you find it on Hulu. It's great. Matter of fact, I think season 4 we're looking at the summer.
I cannot wait for
that.
Get
ready.
Wow. But if you haven't seen it, you have 3 seasons of a emotional roller coaster, and it's even Willie, you don't know this, but this makes it even better. Manaski, you must go home and watch at least a couple episodes this weekend of The Bear.
Okay.
And Willie,
what's it on again?
It's on. You'll find it on Hulu. Okay. Let me tell you, I know for a fact you have it. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what you don't know, Willie, is Jeff's dad is a chef.
Oh, he might get flashbacks.
You may have flashbacks. This may be. You may. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Oh, I can only imagine where you're going with this.
I'm just saying, it's really an intense series to watch. All right, what do you have? Anything worth going to in theaters this weekend?
I mean, I think if nothing says Easter weekend like a vampire movie, guys, and that's what you've got. You've got Sinners, and it's actually a really good movie. I was surprised at how good it is. You basically have these twin brothers played by Michael B. Jordan. He plays both roles. And, it's 1930s. It's the Deep South. It's the Depression. And they've returned home, allegedly after making a little bit of cash working for Al Capone up in Chicago. And they want to start a dance hall, and they want to kind of revive the town. But there's a problem. The town is being taken over by vampires.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah.
And it sounds cheesy on the surface. Oh, it's a vampire movie. But it's a lot more than that. I mean, It really is this look at, this little isolated town that, is suffering from the racism and the segregation and the depression. And, people have this one place where they can come together, this dance hall where, they listen to the music. They're freed. There's all these allusions to, voodoo and folklore coming together. And it just the whole style of it is just so cool. It blew my mind. I mean, it's more than just a vampire movie. And I think a lot of that has to do with Michael B. Jordan playing both roles, playing them very distinctly different. Playing 2 very different brothers on 2 different paths. And, he has such a commanding screen presence. He makes it work. I'm at 3.5 waffles.
Wow.
I just think it's just one of those movies where it's just very suspenseful, and you're watching the vampires closing in, and you just feel the danger growing all through the movie until the big moment.
Okay. In theaters, it's called Sinners, and 3.5 waffles. Wow. Okay, and then there's a few that you can find streaming this weekend.
Oh, yes, that's right. Get ready for Ransom Canyon, my friends. Oh, the TV show Netflix has that they want you to say, God, that's a lot like Yellowstone. If you say that, they will be in heaven. They will hug you. They will put your quote on posters and advertisements all over Netflix. And it's playing from the Yellowstone playbook. It's playing from the Western soap opera playbook, right? You've got the hunky, brooding dudes in cowboy hats. There are love triangles everywhere. There's beautiful scenery out there in the canyons of Texas. A mysterious wanderer shows up one day. Ooh, and some evil hombres want to steal the land.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's Josh Duhamel is kind of the lead actor. A guy who's just, they have given him every tragedy you could ever give this guy, and he's just trying to hold it together and trying to run his cattle ranch. And there's his long lost love, Minka Kelly, who keeps making passes at him, and he's just too dumb to take her up on it. And of course, that everything else that's happening with the families and the fight for the land. And, it's a simple show. It's a very soap opera like show. It's not the greatest writing, but you get sucked in. You want to see what's going to end up happening. I'm at 2.5 waffles for Ransom Canyon.
And there's one more on Hulu too, right?
Yeah, and this is kind of a surprise here. So So this is it's an Irish film called Small Things Like These. And I think I could say this for people who are fans of Irish films, there are no filmmakers on the planet that can make a movie as depressing as an Irish filmmaker. They're very good at it. And, that's what this one kind of falls into that category a little bit. It was originally released in maybe like 10 theaters in America back around Christmas time. It played more overseas, but it's Cillian Murphy. A lot of people know him from, I'm blanking on it, but the Atomic Scientist movie a few years ago. And, he's a working class guy. He sells coal to all the local townspeople, and it's set in 1985. And one of his clients is the local convent, and this is the convent where all the single girls who are pregnant go. And he kind of stops by one day and he finds something very disturbing, and he's starting to uncover that what's going on at that convent ain't cool, and he's faced with the decision of what do I do about it, because he doesn't want to take on the most powerful entity in town. He doesn't want to take on the entity that has the best school for his girls. He doesn't want to take on a customer. I mean, he's really forced into a bad position. And it takes a little bit of time to get there, and I think that's one of the drawbacks to the movie. But if you're paying attention and just kind of let it soak in, I'm at 3 waffles for Small Things Like These.
Wow, okay. All right. And then I wanted to bring up, if I could, Wink Martindale passing away. Because he had quite a long history, but more than just game shows.
Oh, more than just game shows. And, this is kind of funny. I was thinking about him, when this all happened, when he passed away a few days ago. This is really the life of the game show host. He started off in radio. He was a DJ. He ended up becoming a DJ in Memphis, where he became friends with Elvis Presley because Elvis was just getting started, and there was Wink Martindale on the radio in Memphis, and he had like a singing career. He actually was signed to a record label, released a song in the 50s. He hosted a popular TV program for kids. So he was a DJ in the morning and the kids TV program host in the afternoon. And, a lot of us know that he rose up and became very famous for, hosting game shows like Tic-Tac-Toe and High Rollers and had a really long career. And, nowadays we kind of look at some of the game show hosts. I mean, the one that always comes to mind is Rob Lowe. Everybody goes, why is Rob Lowe hosting a game show? Well, you know what? That used to be the career path. You had a little bit of an acting career, you had a little bit of a career here, you had a little bit of a career here, and somebody said, well, you're charming enough to host a game show. And so, that's what Wink Martindale was showing to me. It's like, hey, remember the path of how you became a game show host.
So there is that controversy. I won't call it a controversy, but certainly discussion. Wink Martindale is the coach, the football coach. Is he the son of the game show host?
No, I don't believe he is.
I don't think he is.
I looked at it.
Yeah.
He just was. I think his name was Martindale.
Don Martindale.
Wink,
and they started calling him Wink after the game show host, but no relationship whatsoever. So thought that was kind of interesting. All right, Willie. Amanda Bynes on OnlyFans, but she's not getting nude. We don't have time for that, but there'll be no nudity, is what she says. No nudity. She's going to talk with her fans. Willie, we'll do it again next week. Have a wonderful Easter.
All right, talk to you next week about The Accountant 2.
Okay, coming up.
Hi everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Bootcamp. Have you been feeling a little stressed lately? Well, my friends, you are not alone. April is National Stress Awareness Month, and at Fit Body, we help our members de-stress by providing challenging 30-minute fat-burning workouts and exceptional nutrition support to help you boost your mood and help you de-stress. But don't wait, join us today in Clinton or Whitesboro, and let us bring some happiness into your life. Your first 3 sessions are free. See you soon.
The Temptations. And the Four Tops. Celebrating 40 years of Temptations and Four Tops. April 27th at Turning Stone Resort Casino. Plus celebrating 60 years of the iconic hit, My Girl. Tickets on sale now at turningstone.com. Come celebrate 40 years of magic. The Temptations, the Four Tops.
The first ever Herkimer County Outdoor Showcase is coming to the Herkimer County Fairgrounds April 25th through the 27th with over 18 vendors in one place featuring hunting, camping, fishing, RVs, boats, ATVs, tractors, landscaping, and so much more. If it's outdoors, it's at the Outdoor Showcase. Sponsored by Oak Hill Motors, RV and Marine, Route 5 Frankfort. The Herkimer County Outdoor Showcase. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, April 25th through 27th at the Herkimer County Fairgrounds. Last minute vendors accepted. Call 315-895-7139.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 20% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code RADIO. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. Visit trustandwill.com for details.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
Running for their lives, CJ Papa, Fox News. The bullets started flying during a mass shooting at Florida State University Thursday afternoon. 2 shot dead, 6 others suffering injuries.
The only thing on my mind was, how do I get away from here as fast as possible? How do I make sure that the people around me, that the people that are helping me table, how do I get them to safety?
Student Owen Gerard on Fox News at night. The campus closed today. There's a vigil set for today as well. Fox's Jeff Paul.
Police say he had access to his mother's firearm, which was once her service weapon, and it was that very handgun that was found at what witnesses have described as a very chaotic shooting scene. Authorities say 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, who's believed to be attending Florida State, opened fire near the student union around lunchtime. 2 non-students were killed and at least 6 others were hurt. Leon County Sheriff Walter McNeil says the suspect was a long-standing member of their Youth Advisory Council and has been steeped in the sheriff's office family for some time, engaging in a number of their training programs.
That is Fox's Jeff Paul reporting. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen meeting with Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the illegal immigrant deported to El Salvador. Fox's Manuel Rivera reporting from Washington, D.C.
Van Hollen posting on X saying, "I've called his wife Jennifer to pass along his message of love. I look forward to providing a full update upon my return." It's unclear where he met Abrego Garcia. El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele is mocking the meeting, saying Kilmar Abrego Garcia miraculously risen from the death camps and torture, now sipping margaritas with Senator Van Hollen in the tropical paradise of El Salvador. Democrats argue Abrego Garcia's case is about due process, accusing the Trump administration of infringing on it. Republicans, in the meantime, and the White House accuse Democrats of backing an illegal alien.
The El Salvadoran president has made it clear he will not return Abrego Garcia to the U.S. America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. The brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
President Trump has been trying to cobble together a peace deal to stop the bloodshed in Ukraine that Russia started when it pushed across the border February 24th, 2022. But now it appears the lack of progress could force the U.S. to walk away from the table. That from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's in Paris for meetings with Ukrainian and European officials. Well, that's hazy. Secretary Rubio discussing U.S. talks with Iran in Rome this weekend, hoping to strike a nuclear deal.
It has to be something that actually not just prevents Iran from having a nuclear weapon now, but in the future as well, not just for 10 years with some sort of sunset provision or the like.
Raising the temperature with an Ivy League institution, the Trump administration threatens to block Harvard from enrolling international students as the president called for withdrawing Harvard's tax-exempt status. Fox's Chanley Painter has more.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem is demanding the school turn over records for foreign students who participated in illegal anti-Semitic protest on campus, saying Harvard has until April 30th to verify full compliance with the federal reporting requirements. The administration has also asked the IRS to revoke Harvard's tax-exempt status. But the university says, quote, there is no legal basis to rescind Harvard's tax-exempt status. Such an unprecedented action would endanger our ability to carry out our educational mission.
And the Trump administration did freeze over $2 billion in federal funds after Harvard rejected its demands. 3 tourists are among the 4 people dead when a cable car crashed south of Naples Thursday. That from officials today say a British and an Israeli woman perished in the disaster. Italian prosecutors are opening a probe into the multiple manslaughter is what they're calling a culpable disaster. A 5th person, also believed to be a foreign tourist, was seriously injured and hospitalized in Naples. That is according to officials. Well, the markets are closed in observance of Good Friday today. I'm CJ Papa, and this is Fox News.
Good morning. We have cloudy skies and 31 degrees. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaske. The latest development in the case against Caitlin Conley. Prosecutors say they will present additional evidence to a grand jury after Conley was found guilty of fatally poisoning Mary Yoder back in 2015. That conviction was overturned by a state appellate court back in January. Yoder was the mother of Conley's former boyfriend and also her boss. She has said for years that she is not guilty. 2 local communities getting more than $53 million in funding to help out with water infrastructure projects. Sylvan Beach receiving over $51 million to assist with planning, design, and construction of upgrades at the Oneida Lake Water Pollution Control Plant. The town of Mexico will use its $2.5 million to install about 60,000 linear feet of water main to serve a new area. Governor Hochul says these projects will create jobs and boost the economy. The field of Democrats running to be the next mayor of Syracuse officially trimmed from 5 to 3. The County Board of Elections there said yesterday that neither Alfonso Davis nor Jimmy Oliver earned enough valid signatures to appear on the ballot. That means that the deputy mayor, Sharon Owens, Councilor Joel Majok, and Councilor Pat Hogan will compete for the party's nomination. Governor Kathy Hochul, the state Republican chair, Ed Cox, that is out with his party's word after a vandalization at the headquarters in Albany. Albany police say offensive symbols were found on the state's street building earlier this week. Cox says not only is it an attack on the party, but also an attack on civil discourse, democracy, and decency. Governor Kathy Hochul, a Democrat, believes that no one should resort to violence or vandalism to make a political point, and anyone with information on that case is asked to contact authorities.
They were swastikas that were taped all over the front side of the building, and then a sign that said, "Prove you're not."
Is that what it said?
Yeah, was what the sign said.
Well, because
I'm not sure there was any vandalism, to be honest. It was duct taped.
Everything was duct taped. They targeted Stefanik's office too,
as well. Yeah. I mean, technically, it would be considered vandalism, but I'm not sure they did any damage to the property unless the duct tape took off a little paint when they pulled it off. It's possible.
WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is coming up on 7:08. 70s this weekend, this Easter weekend. Here's your forecast.
Clouds will increase from this morning to the afternoon with a few late day showers and gusty winds with a high of 67. Some more rain's possible this evening with an overnight low down to 59. A windy and warm Saturday with showers and thunderstorms at a high of 72, and then clearing and cooler behind the front into Easter on Sunday with a high of 53. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
We have some clouds, 31 degrees at 7:08. All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, the Mets and Yankees both victorious last night. The Mets opening up a series against the St. Louis Cardinals. 4-1 your final as Griffin Canning got the win for the Mets. The Yankees opened their series against the Rays, a 6-3 win in Tampa, as Waldo Cabrera 2 for 3 with a solo homer, his first dinger of the season. The Knicks kick off their postseason this weekend. Tomorrow they host the Detroit Pistons, in Game 1 of their best-of-7 series. Hockey action, the Rangers shut out the Lightning in their season finale 4-0. The Islanders blown out by the Jackets 6-1 as they wrap their season. And the Devils open the playoffs this weekend, visiting the Carolina Hurricanes on Sunday afternoon. Also, the Utica Comets, their final 2 games of the season, a home-and-home with the Syracuse Crunch tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center, 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, they will play in Syracuse.
And that's it on the season, right? This is their final home game tonight, and there's a great opportunity to get tickets. What are they, $10 tickets, I think, tonight? You can take advantage of seeing the Comets for the last time at home this season, and it's been a tough one, tough season for them this year. Let's see, what do I have to get to? How about coming up at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino? And it's just a few weeks away. The Temptations and the Four Tops will be performing
next weekend
at the Event Center at the Turning Stone Resort and Casino. It just so happens that we did give tickets away, and we had our little medley, and believe it or not, people did nail it, right? It was not easy.
No, it was not easy.
So now we're left with a couple of pairs of tickets that I would like to give away. And, Davey, how about if we just, they don't have to work for it. Caller number what? And we'll give away a pair of tickets to see the Temptations of the Four Tops.
Caller 7.
7th caller right now at 315-736-0186 is the number.
This contest was so popular that we even had a former resident that lived in Utica that now resides in Maine that won these tickets.
Yeah, he the winner was from Maine. Lives in Maine right now. So there you go. It's at the Turning Stone. We'll take caller 7 right now. You'll get tickets. You don't have to do anything. You just be the 7th caller and you win. 315-736-0186 is the number. Hey, there's a great website out there you can take advantage of, and it will assist you in finding something to do, whether it be this weekend or any weekend, in Herkimer County. It's herkimercountyny.gov. And this gives you everything. Any event that's happening in the county, if you have an event you would like promoted, you can submit it, and they will promote it for you. Here's a couple things that are going on. How about the Spring 2025 Moonlight Market at the Frankfurt Marina? Gets underway, and the Moonlight Market is a vibrant, and I'm trying to read this. The print is so small. They should realize I could barely see. It's a 2025 edition of the Moonlight Market, and it's a vibrant, community-driven evening event organized by volunteers. It's set beneath the soft glow of the moon and the twinkling string lights. The market highlights skilled local artists, makers, and growers. Each booth offers something for everyone. You can read all about it on the website, herkimercountyny.gov/events. And if you have an event you'd like promoted, you can submit it there as well. Herkimer County, where history and commerce and beauty all collide. It is happening in Herkimer County. It's going to be happening on our phone lines here in a second as the one and only defense attorney extraordinaire, Frank Policelli, coming up. And he has a lot to talk about. And, just so happened, we learned yesterday that the DA's office is going to present a case to the grand jury. And it's possible that Caitlin Connolly could face charges of murder or manslaughter for a third time. How is that possible? We'll speak with Frank coming up in a bit at WIBX.
Celebrate AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary with an extra 0.75% off your auto and rec loans. Apply today at ameriq.org/loan sale.
When it comes to the ones we love, their comfort and dignity matter most. That is why Hospice and Palliative Care is here for you. When you want your loved ones' wishes to be honored, when you want them to be comfortable, safe, and secure, and when you want them to be wherever they call home, Hospice and Palliative Care is the right choice. Our team of professional doctors, nurses, social workers and bereavement counselors are dedicated to providing compassionate care every step of the way. At hospice, your loved one is not alone, and neither are you. We are just a phone call away, ready to support you through this journey. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison County for the comfort and dignity your loved ones deserve. For more information, visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call us today at 315-735-6484. Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties.
When you need us most.
Hey, Central New York, this is Will Kane of The Will Kane Show, and you can now hear my show every weekday at WIBX. I do things a little differently when I'm behind the microphone because I turn it over to the listeners to learn and really dig into the issues that impact everyday Americans. The Will Kane Show lets you keep ahead of the headlines and understand what's really going on in the world with in-depth discussions from leading experts and the brightest minds. From politics to sports, nothing is off topic. Listen to The Will Kane Show weekdays at 6, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, and congratulations, Donna Chufo wins the tickets. She was caller number 7 through the lines and wins tickets to see the Temptations and the Four Tops coming up at the Event Center, the Turning Stone Resort and Casino, April 27th at 8 p.m. You can get your tickets at the Turning Stone box office or through Ticketmaster. There you go. I want to tell you also, if you're in need of concrete work, nobody does it better than Brank Construction. Concrete driveways, sidewalks, stone walls repaired or created, retaining walls. Maybe it's foundation work or garage floors. They do it all. If it's concrete work, any of your masonry and concrete needs, call Brank today, B-R-A-N-C-K. Brank Construction. When it comes to concrete, nobody does it better. Call 315-894-3481. 315-894-3481. Get on the list for one of the first projects of the season at Brank Construction. Call today. On the line right now is the defense attorney that we all know and certainly respect, the one and only Frank Policelli on the line. Good morning, Frank.
I got cut off.
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason when I don't have this engaged, you can't hear us. That's the way the board is wired. So it is what it is. All right. Good morning. You're here. And say hi to Manaski. Manaski's in studio.
Happy birthday, Frank.
And happy birthday.
Thank you. How you been?
Yeah. What is
Pretty
it, like
good.
45, 40? What are you?
I'm starting the fourth quarter.
Okay. All right. All right. Fair enough. Okay. Can I start with the Caitlin Conley decision and just get your take on it?
I guess, if you want.
Well, it wasn't what we were going to talk about, but you do have...
Oh, hold on. So you did the second trial, right? And then you did the appeal or no?
He was acquitted of murder, yes.
He didn't do the appeal.
No, you didn't do the appeal. Okay. So
Schwartz was...
But I never did. If I did the first appeal, we wouldn't be talking about this today, let me tell you, okay?
It would be over.
It would have been over, yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Never works out that way, does it? So what... I mean, first of all, can you explain to us how being tried for the same crime 3 times isn't double jeopardy?
Well, it's not, because she was acquitted of murder. She wouldn't be indicted on murder. She could only be indicted on the manslaughter because that conviction was vacated by the appellate division. So you can be retried on a conviction that was vacated.
I see.
So they could indict her on the man one.
So double jeopardy is if you were found not guilty on charges of murder, and then the DA came back and charged you again with murder. That would be double jeopardy.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But there are other options. Right.
And they have options here. And so the option was, and we spoke to the district attorney yesterday, they have decided to present to, I don't know if you saw the exact wording or heard the exact wording yesterday.
I saw it. I talk to Todd Carville all the time. So I know what they're doing, okay?
Okay.
So they're going to go to a grand jury. They feel, look, we're obligated because we have to do this for the family of the decedent.
Yes.
We'll go to the grand jury. We'll let the grand jury decide. If the grand jury wants to indict her, hey, we just did our job. If they don't indict her, don't blame us. That's how they look at it, okay? So,
Fair enough.
So it's more than likely she'll get indicted. And now the question is, who's going to be the judge? Because both the judges are going to have to recuse themselves because they were in the DA's office. Are you going to be able to get a fair trial in Oneida County? Or maybe you're going to have to get a change of venue. Remember, the last time we got a change of venue in Oneida County was over 40 years ago in a case that was the biggest case in Oneida County that nobody even remembers anymore. So that's an issue, okay?
What was that case, by the way? Yeah, what was that case? I forgot it. You told me the other day, and I forgot it already.
If you remember back in 1983 when Eddie Parker got arrested for drugs, and then they indicted Tony Pardo from Remsen.
Yeah.
They indicted Tony Pardo on the sale. He was the Cuban from Florida. They could not get 12 people in Oneida County that could be fair. So they had to change the venue. They moved the case to Rochester, and then they made a deal with Pardo because they didn't feel like spending the money to go to Rochester to try the case. Okay.
So why couldn't they find 12 people in the county to be fair?
Because they were all
so highly
because
publicized.
Of the adverse publicity.
Oh, okay.
The publicity, I mean, I don't know, Jeff, how old you are, but back in 1983, the worst crime you could ever be charged with was drugs. It was worse than murder, okay? So they had this huge case, the biggest drug case ever in Oneida County. We had a suppression hearing with 10 lawyers that took a week for hearings, okay? Because the Supreme Court had just decided a landmark case called Franks versus Delaware, where if the police lie to the judge about their probable cause, you're entitled to get a hearing to suppress a search warrant. But we took the position that they lied to the judge and showed a reckless disregard for the truth. But because it was such a big drug case, the appellate court says, well, they weren't reckless, they were just negligent. So they affirmed that conviction, okay? So
what was the case in like 1980, 81, 82? And it involved the Dyke Road and the bridge there. Do you remember that big case? That was a big, and I think that was in Herkimer County. Do you remember which one that was?
I don't remember specifically. I can't remember half the cases I've tried over the years.
Okay, all right. I think you were involved, though.
If I don't get paid, I don't care. You know.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So, is there the possibility that the DA could decide once she has been indicted, let's say they indict her, and the DA decides we're going to, you've done 7.5 years in prison, we're going to offer you a deal?
I think, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, get rid of this case. You offer her a plea to Mantu. You take what's called an Alford plea, where she doesn't have to admit anything. All she has to say is, well, there's a good possibility if I go to trial, I'm going to be convicted on a manslaughter too. Give me credit for time served and forget about it.
Okay.
Get rid of it.
That would be your prediction.
That's not my prediction, but that's what I would think if I was involved. That's something I would like to see happen, because I can't see that family having to go through the expense and aggravation of another trial, and who knows where it's going to be. I don't think she could get a fair trial in Oneida County. And, I just think it's been going on for 10 years. It's time to get it over with.
Mike asked this morning, how much money does a case like this Conley case cost the county?
It costs them a lot of money. I can't tell you how much it costs the county. I'll tell you how much it could cost to defend a case like this. I can't tell you how much it's going to cost the county, but it's going to cost them a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay.
And here's the thing: we got to get witnesses. They call witnesses from all over the country. Where are you going to find these witnesses?
Yeah. Right. There's a whole different. This is all. Boy, and I do think, though, here's an interesting thing that was brought up. If the family did a GoFundMe page, defend Caitlin Conley GoFundMe page, now that there's national attention on this, I'll bet you a lot of money would get raised.
I bet you not a lot of money.
Really?
Those things, though. I mean, how much do you think they're going to come up with? Hundreds of thousands of dollars?
I don't know. I see some of these campaigns make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You never know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, you're the expert here. I'm just,
I never had a deal with GoFundMe clients, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, fair enough. All right, now me being the
now you ready for your class in law school?
Me being the legal expert that I am, apparently I said something you are very much in a disagreement with about disclosure. I'm ready.
Yeah, because I had to tell this to Greg Lubo yesterday because he's you had him on one time.
Yes,
too.
yes.
So let me back up, okay? Let's go back to 1963 when the Supreme Court decided a case called Brady versus Maryland, where they said, as a matter of fundamental due process and fairness, once a prosecutor gets a case and they get all their evidence, they are obligated to give the defense any evidence that would be considered exculpatory to the defendant to raise a reasonable doubt. Okay? That was the constitutional law. Well, in the last 60 years, the prosecutor was the ones that had to decide what was relevant for the defense. And you had many cases that have been decided in the appellate courts where the prosecution failed to provide Brady material. So the legislation in New York finally came to grips with most of the states in the country, and they said, look, it's not up for the prosecutor to decide what's relevant information for the defense. It's for the defense lawyer to decide what's relevant. So the statute that was passed, Section 245 of the Criminal Procedure Law, says that the prosecution must give all the evidence that they gather in their investigation that relates to this case to the defense. And they don't decide what's relevant. Now, if they got a problem with disclosing all that evidence, 245.70 says you could go to the judge and get a protective order, and then the judge has to decide whether or not that evidence could be revealed to the defendant. That's the way the system works. And then I got to tell you, they do that in Oneida County. They're not bad in Oneida County, but you got to look at the other counties in the state, especially New York City. They did a study in New York City with this group. I forgot the name of it, to be honest with you, but Greg gave me this yesterday, where 99% of the decisions that were unpublished on the 300 that they studied found that the prosecutions failed to meet basic discovery obligations and not minor technicalities. So the problems you have is that there's supposed to be a flow of information between the police department and the district attorney's office. They need to fund the district attorney's office with enough money so they have the staff to provide this discovery. So that's one of the major problems. And then you have another problem of the coordination of the police departments with the district attorney's office to provide disciplinary records of the police officers, because they have to be provided, and the appellate courts insist that you just can't give summaries.
Yeah.
You have to give the actual disciplinary facts under Public Officers Law, Section 86, Paragraph 6. And they refuse to do that, especially Utica. And the reason why you need those is because the courts have said police officers are like any other witness, and they could be cross-examined by any prior bad, criminal, immoral, or vicious act to impeach their credibility. It's relevant to their credibility. And most of the time, cases rise and fall on police officers' credibility. So we're entitled to get those records. Now, they're working on that, but they don't have the staff necessary to adjust to that. So now you come up and so you want to scare people into amending the laws by coming up with this ridiculous example of saying, well, the defense lawyer and the client could go to the house where the girl claims she was raped and investigate that.
Yes.
That's the most ridiculous. It never has happened, okay? Nobody ever does that, okay? Plus, if somebody's charged with rape, there's going to be an order of protection issued immediately, so that's going to stop you from doing that.
So you think you think that is bluster? It's not real.
Of course, it's bluster. Politicians scare people to do what they want them to do. People act out of fear because they don't know the facts. The general public doesn't know the facts.
I can tell you right now, that the district attorney said he would be listening to you on the air. I can guarantee you right now he is in disagreement with you.
I don't know about that. I'll probably talk to Todd later today.
Okay. All right.
So, Frank, they give this example that 95% of domestic violence cases in New York City were dismissed over minor issues. And
let me stop you. When you say domestic violence cases, you talking about family court?
I don't know. That's the stat that the governor's office is touting.
Stop
it,
We're
Jeff.
talking about criminal cases. So if you use a generalized term like domestic violence, you're not telling me those are criminal cases. Those are probably family court cases. And you're saying they're dismissed on technicalities. Whoa, what's a technicality? Is your constitutional right a technicality, or is it important?
I agree with you on that. Right, there's your slippery slope right there.
Frank, when we're talking domestic violence, what does that mean to you? That means somebody was assaulted, right? We're not talking about somebody got in an argument.
I don't know what it means. I don't go to family court. Domestic violence is a very generalized, vague term. You got to be specific if you're going to charge somebody with a crime. You're saying somebody assaulted somebody?
He's doing the defense attorney thing here. He knows I don't have an actual case to present.
Well, and I think it's interesting. I think that's what the governor's office knows also, that you can throw that out there and people are like, oh my God, domestic violence. The first thing that goes to your head is some guy punched a woman in the face when they were in an argument or what have you.
Right.
So people, and it's kind of, Frank, what you said is that politicians will tend to scare people.
Absolutely.
And but we don't know the facts on the story.
The best example that's in the national highlights, if you saw what the Fourth Circuit did down in Richmond, Virginia on that Garcia case, and if you read that decision, and I've been in the Fourth Circuit, that's one of the best appellate courts in the country, they really hit the nail on the head about how they make all these grandeur statements about this guy's a terrorist. We have due process. That's why we have a court system. You make an accusation, and then you got to go to court and you got to prove it. You just can't call people names and then expect people to be so prejudiced that they're going to just follow you like the sheep, you know?
Can I ask you? I mean, I hate to open this can of worms, but picking up people. I mean, these are immigrants. Maybe they're here illegally. Maybe they're on a work visa. The government is telling us they are part of a gang, and we gather them up and we take them to a prison in El Salvador. How do you feel about that? I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Same way I feel that what they did in Auschwitz and Nazi Germany with the Jews. Okay.
Oh, you're going there.
Well, that's what they're doing here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. A little hyperbole.
They're not giving anybody any opportunity to be heard. There's no due process.
Nobody's being sent to a concentration camp, though.
Well, it is a prison.
It's a concentration camp. They gas them and starve them. Is that what they do?
About that, but in Germany, that wasn't the initial. They didn't. They were just prison camps initially in Germany. But I'm just saying, Frank went there. But in terms of due process, they're not getting due process. But they're not citizens. Are they afforded due process even though they're not citizens?
Let me give you another historical lesson.
Okay.
When they first drafted the 14th Amendment, the word was that you can't deprive a citizen of due process. That word citizen was taken out, and the word person was put in there. You know who did that?
Who did that?
Roscoe Conkling.
Get out of here. I did not know that.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And that was when he was in charge of the customs and was a New York senator down in New York City. And you know why he did that? Because in the 1860s, all the Irish immigrants were coming over, and they were being persecuted.
Right.
And they wanted due process for everybody. So you did not have to be a citizen. You could be an immigrant and be entitled to due process because you are a person.
That's very interesting. I did not.
What the 14th Amendment said.
I did not know there was a local tie to that. That is really unbelievable.
Well, not only is there a local tie, but Roscoe Conkling was one of the greatest Americans that ever lived. I mean, he was when Ulysses S. Grant ran for president. He stayed at his house when he ran against his brother-in-law, Horatio Seymour. But when I was down in New York last week, and I was in the First Department, the Appellate Division, and Madison Park is right across the street. You know whose statue is in Madison Park?
Conkling.
Yes.
Wow. I did not know that. That's really incredible. One last thing for you, Frank. Were you when the appellate court ruled that there was a technicality with Caitlin Connolly, were you upset that they said you made a big mistake?
Nobody ever said I made a big mistake.
I'm busting your chops. I'm just busting your chops. I know that.
Frank, you can't.
I was just trying to fire you up on your birthday. That's all.
Listen, just like you just said about labeling people terrorists, you can't use hyperbole and scare people and say they're being sent to concentration camps when they're not actually being sent to concentration camps.
Well, let me ask you this, Jeff. Let me ask you this, okay?
Okay.
If you were this kid that they picked up off the street, sent down to a foreign country where they shave their heads like they did to the Jews, where they humiliate you and they torture you in the worst camp that you're in prison, what would you call that?
It was a terrible picture. If you saw them coming in, they were bound. Many of them were on their knees crawling. All of their heads were shaved. You're right. It was a terrible, terrible look for the United States, in my opinion. But, hey, Frank, they're terrorists.
Okay.
Gang members. These are what these people are. But
well, wait a minute.
Unless Frank, hold on. Wait. Unless I'm misunderstanding this, was he not with the senator yesterday having lunch and drinking martinis?
I don't know about the martini part, but I know he did meet with the senator yesterday, or the congressperson yesterday. They did.
So they have at the Jewish concentration camps. They had like a little mini bar.
I think you're probably better off not arguing with Frank on this.
No, come on, Frank.
Okay,
come on, go ahead.
What's your point?
So he was out yesterday, not in prison. Was having lunch with the Van Hollen senator, and I'm looking for the headline where it said they were drinking martinis.
I hate to go here for Frank, but I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
I don't care what display they did yesterday in order for the cameras to see, but at the end of the day, where he would like to be and where he was living was with his family, his child, and his child to be.
Fair enough. To label this a concentration camp, though, is stretch.
That's Frank's words. I'm not going to argue with you, Frank. And anything you want to add to that, Frank?
Well, the reality of the situation is this guy, my opinion is that there's a very likely parallel. And I think if you study history, and if I could tell you the story about when I worked in Seattle 50 years ago at a law firm with a woman that grew up in Nazi Germany. And she liked Hitler, okay? She didn't think anything was wrong with what Hitler was doing because she wasn't one of the classes of people that were being picked on by Hitler, okay? So they didn't realize what was going on. And what's going on here, people don't realize, is completely unconstitutional, and it's clearly a sign of somebody that's trying to absorb all the power in the executive branch of government, and that's not what this country is about. And this guy got deprived of due process, and they could put on a show and pretend that, well, he's going to meet with the senator so he gets out of jail for a couple of hours. What does that prove? It proves absolutely nothing.
Very interesting conversation. I appreciate you coming on, Frank, as always. I did ask that extra question, which is always my big problem, but I'm glad I asked it anyway. So.
Well, that's what makes you what you are.
Trouble, Frank.
No, makes you the best.
All right, thank you for that. Frank Policelli, we appreciate it. Have a wonderful Easter weekend.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks so much. I got a break. We'll do Hoboken's free money question of the day. I have the mayor of Utica and the mayor of Herkimer coming on, and a lot to talk about with both of them in a bit. And Hoboken's free money question is coming up at WIBX.
Mattress Express's closeout sale on brand new leftover inventory and floor models. Right now, buy a king or queen and get a free adjustable base. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers and no credit check payment plans available as well.
Hi everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Bootcamp. Have you been feeling a little stressed lately? Well, my friends, you are not alone. April is National Stress Awareness Month, and at Fit Body, we help our members de-stress by providing challenging 30-minute fat-burning workouts and exceptional nutrition support to help you boost your mood and help you de-stress. But don't wait. Join us today in Clinton or Whitesboro, and let us bring some happiness into your life. Your first 3 sessions are free. See you soon.
In life, we're often faced with difficult decisions. When it comes to caring for our loved one, the choice can be overwhelming. But amidst the uncertainties, there is one decision that stands out as an act of profound love and gratitude: choosing hospice care. Hospice care isn't just about medical support. It's about honoring the journey of those who've given their all to their families. It's about providing comfort, dignity, and peace in their final days, surrounded by loved ones. Choosing hospice is a way to give back to someone who has selflessly given their life to others. At Hospice and Palliative Care, we understand the weight of this choice. Our compassionate team is here to guide you through every step of the journey, providing personalized care that respects the individuality and dignity of your loved one. When it's time to say goodbye, choose hospice care. Choose love. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties. Visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call 315-735-6484.
When you need us most.
Now at Kubota Orange Days, your local Kubota dealer at White's Farm Supply is delivering the savings you need for the life you love. Join us on Saturday, April 26th at our Waterville location for the exclusive deals on America's favorite compact tractors. We'll help you find the perfect match with special Orange Days financing and savings. Don't miss this chance to save on the Kubota you've always wanted. Only at White's Farm Supply in Waterville on Saturday, April 26th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
White's Farm Supply.
Are your tires tough enough for the journey ahead? The Nokian Tires Outpost tire is strong enough for getaways, but comfortable for the daily grind. The Outpost is infused with puncture-resistant fibers, assembled in North America, and covered by a pothole protection warranty. Extend your adventures with the Nokian Tires Outpost.
Find Nokian Tires Outpost tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
When it comes to the ones we love, their comfort and dignity matter most. That is why Hospice and Palliative Care is here for you. When you want your loved ones' wishes to be honored, when you want them to be comfortable, safe, and secure, and when you want them to be wherever they call home, Hospice and Palliative Care is the right choice. Our team of professional doctors, nurses, social workers, and bereavement counselors are dedicated to providing compassionate care every step of the way. At Hospice, your loved one is not alone, and neither are you. We are just a phone call away, ready to support you through this journey. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison County for the comfort and dignity your loved ones deserve. For more information, visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call us today at 315-735-6484. Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties.
When you need us most.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Ba-ba-ba-boom. It is Easter weekend. Here we go. I mean, I feel like it's just like Groundhog Day, by the way. It's year after year. I've been on the radio for many years, and, how many times have I said, and it's a Good Friday, and it's Easter weekend. Before you know it, I'll be saying, it's Mother's Day weekend. I mean, we just keep doing this cyclical year after year after year. After you've done it for so many years, I think it gets, I don't know. Is it new every year? I don't know. I don't think so.
That's how it goes, Bill.
It is how it goes.
That's how it goes, yeah.
Are you saying I'm getting old?
No, I'm not saying you're getting old. I'm saying
that's how it goes.
It's cyclical, yeah. It's the calendar
and already, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend. Can you believe it's already Boilermaker weekend?
Let's not get there yet.
Listen, if we're there, it's 85 and sunny today.
Yeah, but then we're already halfway through summer.
It's a good point. All right, let's do Hobikus free money question of the day. Davey, it's worth how much?
$200.
$200, and I am going to give someone the opportunity to win right now. Caller number 1. We've not gotten the caller yet. First caller through the lines, 315-736-0186. Caller number, and I'm eyeing the phone right now. Caller number 1. We're on a bit of a delay, so I have to slowly say it. Caller number 1. Good morning. Who is this?
Good morning. This is Eric.
Eric, congratulations. Turn your radio down. And here we go. Eric, you're in, where are you from? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Deerfield.
All right, Eric in Deerfield. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think, hang on. Let me turn my radio down.
Turn your radio down. This is $200 on the line.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm watching you on TV.
Oh, you are? All right. Thank you. YouTube is...
Yeah.
We'll even give you a little wave. About 35 seconds. You'll see that. It's a bit delayed. All right. Here we go. This is your question. You'll have 7 seconds to answer. And, Davey, am I running? You want me to run this in here? I can do that. No problem. Here we go. Here's your question. No one ever called him by his real name, Winston Conrad. They always called him by his nickname. Who are we talking about? Ready, go.
Who was Wink Martindale?
Who was, for $200, Wink Martindale? You are correct. Well, listen, it pays to stick around before Policelli and after, right? We were talking a little Wink Martindale. So
He was a tough guest.
Frank is a tough man. Winston. Winston.
I just want to.
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to say I feel sorry for Jeff.
Winston.
Why is that?
Conrad Martindale. His nickname was Wink for $200. Very nice. Why do you?
Jeff, you tried to stand up to him. You did a good job.
Well, I just want to say that in addition to $200, you've won an all-expenses-paid trip to a concentration camp in South America, a country of your choosing.
Here's where I got to tell you, and you know where I am on this. I'm absolutely with Frank on this. It is when you're picking up people on, and the government is telling us, don't worry, they don't need due process because these are bad people. I don't trust the government. I don't care if it's Biden in there or it's Galimi or it's Donald Trump. You don't trust your government. That's why we have checks and balances in this country. I don't care who they are. You're not defending a terrorist. You're defending your own rights, because when you let the rights being taken away from others, when you allow that to happen, what you don't realize is they're being taken right from underneath you, and you don't even know it.
I agree with everything you just said.
Okay, all right.
It's an interesting 2 points of view. I enjoyed it.
Right. Well, you know I'm right, but nonetheless. Okay, stand by. Listen, why do we even want to talk about this? You won $200.
Yeah, that was a great way to start the weekend.
What a great way. Yeah, all right. Think of the dozen eggs you can buy with that.
Exactly.
All right, stand by. Davey's going to hook you up. Congratulations. Big winner right there. He just knew exactly where I was going. Didn't even hesitate.
No, he didn't. And when you asked, because I had looked him up, I was looking to see who his children were. I knew it was Winston Conrad.
Everybody was doing that. Yeah, that helped. I felt it's been a little dry lately. We haven't been giving any money away. So I can only imagine how Micah feels. Like, we got to give some money away. What are you doing here? On the line right now is the mayor of Herkimer, Mayor Dana Sherry. And Dana, Mayor, good morning. Thanks so much for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We wanted to get by the way, say hello to the Utica mayor, Mayor Mike Galimi.
Hello, Mayor.
Hi, Mayor. How are you?
Great. Good afternoon. Good morning.
I like how you call each other mayor. That's very nice.
It's funny. At NICOM, the New York Conference of Mayors, it's like one of those comedy skits.
Hi,
There's
Mayor.
literally just
Hello,
hundreds
Mayor.
of mayors. Yeah.
Hey, Mayor. That's funny.
Hey, Mayor.
All of a sudden, somebody says, "Hey, Mayor," and like 300 people turn around and look at the person. Yeah. Alrighty, here we go. You've had some water issues, and we wanted to get an update. I know the water is flowing again. Where are we? And is this a temporary fix? Where are we right now?
So the water has reached the Herkimer Reservoir, and it's slowly filling up. So we're looking at maybe tonight or tomorrow, we will probably be removing the water conservation, and then what was I going to say? The conserving water and the state of emergency will be lifted also.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Is this a permanent fix?
No, it's not a permanent fix.
Okay.
But it hopefully will hold for a while until we have a better plan in place. Which
all
is
right.
going to be permanent. So we have to replace pipe and all kinds of things because it's over 100 years old. So we do need to make a lot of repairs, and we have to decide that hopefully within the next couple of weeks by the end of April.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And would you say it is important to have at all times some sort of access, normal access to this area in case there's a problem going forward?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's something that you'll commit to.
Yes. Yes.
Because it is tough to say, well, we found out where the problem is, but we have no access there. And I understand, with weather and we've had some crazy weather over the last decade when you think about it. So you can go into Easter weekend then feeling at ease.
I can for the first time in a few weeks.
It's been a long couple of weeks. Anything you want to say to the mayor?
I was just glad she resurrected the reservoir.
She's resurrected the reservoir. Your timing is a little early, but it all works out. All right, Mayor, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Right, have a great holiday.
You too.
All right,
Take care, Mayor.
Good morning, and take care.
Okay. Mayor number 2 is Mayor Galimi in studio here now. Good morning. All right, I want to get right going here, if you're all right with it.
It's fine, as long as I can do a little bit of a spot at the end on the mayor's benefit gala for Thea Bowman House. Let's get into the details of what you want to talk about here.
We're going to speak with Mr. Carcone coming up next week. There is now a vote of no confidence with the assistant fire chief.
They took a vote.
They took a vote. Okay.
Whether there was a vote that was a majority of the actual firefighters.
Well, the announcement has been that there's a vote of no confidence for both the assistant and the current fire chief. Right. What's really going on here, and in a nutshell?
So this all started a few weeks ago, probably a month ago now, when Councilperson Testa put in legislation to eliminate the assistant chief's position. Now that came on the heels of, just a letter effectively that went down to, firefighter Carcone in the respect of being a firefighter about, keeping within the contractual usage of, association business leave, union leave. And then 2 days later, there was legislation to get rid of, the assistant chief. Listen, I'm fairly confident those are, linked things. It was 2 days apart. It was controversy. And unfortunately, while the legislation was put forth and there was discussions of efficiency and, they brought up the fact that we just had, a tax rise and all these things, all of the proposals relied around the use of someone's name, Jim Noon, instead of discussing whether or not we need an assistant chief. Now, the reality is we do need an assistant chief, and we've rationalized that both through, different resolutions and going through the different work and everything else under the sun. This became very personal very quickly in watching what the council was discussing, in watching and listening to what President Carcone, as the union president, was discussing publicly.
And for those who aren't following along, Mr. Carcone is also on the council.
No,
it's not.
No, this is two. These
are two different.
These are two different people.
I didn't realize that.
Do not confuse. I mean, they are relaed, but that has nothing to do.
I did not realize that.
So Frank Carcone is the 4th Ward council person. That's the person who, used to own Old School with a partner and ran the Stone Bridge, et cetera.
Yes.
I've played many weddings with my dad's band, when he was running the weddings at the Stone Bridge. No, this is Thomas Carcone.
Tom is with
union president, who is also a
department.
Firefighter. Two separate people.
Did not ever realize. I heard the name Carcone.
No, two separate people. Two separate people.
So Tom, however, not Frank, will be on next week.
Yes, exactly.
That's who I will be talking to.
Yes.
Who I thought I was talking to all along. Anyway, I talked to someone who said who was on the other side of this, so would be siding more with you, siding with the assistant fire chief.
Okay.
Who believed that maybe the assistant fire chief was the tough one, who's following the rules. If somebody's showing up late, there's disciplinary
No, that's
action.
absolutely what happened. So let's talk about me coming in as mayor in January last year.
Are you saying that's absolutely what happened?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You feel that this is about the fact that he's getting into their business and they don't want that.
Well, that's always been a push and pull.
I understand that.
The disciplinarian,
but
the person who distributes
not so much that you're eliminating the position.
Yes, exactly. So here's... Look, you have an assistant chief and a chief that are absolutely with me at this point as of last January, running the fire department and reinstituting a lot of different principles. Okay, we're talking about the accountability to the chain of command. That's line fireman through the lieutenant, through the captain, up through the deputy chiefs, and then the chief and assistant chief. And that we just promoted a lieutenant yesterday. Phenomenal interview process, phenomenal promotion, Lieutenant Brent Boak, right?
Yeah.
And from the second I got in, and this is not necessarily how the prior administrations, quote, directed the fire department to be run. We've been interviewing people. That's where everything starts. And everything has to do with the precedence of what each position means to the fire department. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is top down. You have a chief and assistant chief. Now, not only is there absolute required redundancy there, because when the chief is not there, you need an assistant chief to fill in for that position, but there's a division of labor between 6 houses, a fire academy, the fact that we run an EMS service, the fact that, listen, it's absolutely just like every other organization. There's sick time, there's personal time, there's figuring out how to staff the different 4 platoons. That's the management of the department. Now, you want to talk about the division of management and, quote, labor. Tom's going to be on. Okay, there's an assistant chief and there's a chief managing the department under the leadership of the city. Okay, they are the management. Everyone else, the other 130 firemen, they're in the union. Okay?
Right.
It's management and labor. Okay, there is a division there, and there's always going to be a division there, and that's rightfully so. So what you have right now is you have the union president working with the council to not only voice but help them eliminate the assistant chief's position, and they're doing this from literally the perspective of not liking the person in the position. Okay, now first of all, I have absolute confidence in the chief and the assistant chief and how we're taking the department forward. That's why I started bringing up these interviews. That's why I'm talking about the management department. But then you want to talk about everything that's being discussed, even on the council floor right now. They keep bringing up the assistant chief's name. But then what I had to be told was, no, we're doing this for efficiency purposes. We're doing this because we want to save money. But they're not trying to save money. It's completely personal, 100%. And okay, there is a division of labor there that absolutely the last administration had Jim Noon being 100% the disciplinarian and the person distributing all of the things that came down from the administration. Multiple times since 2 Januaries ago now, 2024, I've had people call me, did you send this? Did you know Jim Noon was coming after us with this? And I'm like, first of all, that's Jim Noon's role, okay, as the assistant chief to sign that letter and distribute it. Okay. 2, that is legitimate, and you need to follow the contract. Okay. And 3, yeah, I did know about it. Jim Noon's not hunting people. Not only did I know about the letter and that communication, I approved it. I read it. I helped edit that. And guess what? Chief Ingersoll is 100% behind that as well. So, we're talking about a lot of these things personally because the council made it very personal. This isn't about better management of the department. This is about them going after a person.
Banaski.
What are you talking about here? This letter, they're coming after me, or they're coming after us?
Any letter.
This was a disciplinary from a year ago.
No. I'm talking about any situation.
You're
right
saying
now,
if he's going after,
let's say there's a uniform violation, or someone backs a truck into the house, or someone does not show up for a shift.
You're saying it might be coming from the assistant fire chief, but it's coming from you.
It comes from the administration of the fire department. That's the chief and the assistant chief and us managing the department.
And you know about it. And you know about it.
Absolutely. But my point is, this semblance has always been, hey, do you know he's doing this? Of course we know he's doing this. It's part of management, right?
Can you...
keep going.
I'm just wondering if there's an elimination of a position, can the council just do that? And
so the council absolutely controls the complement, but Taylor law in this case, okay, especially under the fact that the chief and assistant chief have a CBA, they have a collective bargaining agreement of their own. They are not to be confused with Local 32, but they have their own chief's contract. Okay,
but if you eliminate the position
under Taylor law, the council, okay, can absolutely control the complement still, which is, the people that, the positions that the people fill. Okay. So there's chief and assistant chief, but under Taylor law, they have to still follow the state statute. Okay. And they can't just take a civil service tested position and fire somebody.
Right.
They can control the complement. And that's what's going on. There's caveat. They can't. So that it's. We had labor law attorneys.
This won't be a veto. This will be this. You'll get corporation counsel involved in this.
Well, they are involved, and they did explain this. Okay, and the reality is, if this is about better management of the department, they're also trying to dictate that, quote, once they remove Jim Noon,
right,
they are telling me and the chief where he's going to go within the department. Now, I had to explain to certain council people who asked me about this. I said, that's not how that works with civil service.
Right.
It's time served. It's seniority. You can't, if you want to control the complement, that is absolutely the purview of the council, but you don't manage the department and figure out where people go. That's a matter of who gets appointed by the mayor. And I take the advisement of the chief. And then also when elimination happens, it goes by seniority. You don't know where Jim's going to fall.
I have 90 seconds. I just want to ask
you don't know where anyone else is going to go.
A couple of quickies. Number one,
yeah.
You so this is something that is going to happen, but most likely will not happen within the council.
This is a council discussion.
Okay, but
the chief and I and the assistant chief are going to keep managing the department appropriately, keep doing everything we can to both iteratively improve the management of that department. We're going to take all that input that came out of that, quote, no confidence vote, which, by the way, 75 people showed up. 75 people did not vote no confidence.
You now have 50 seconds, and I'm going to throw this. You now are at odds with Republicans on the council as well as Democrats. This is the second time recently, of course, with the tax increase. You're good with that.
Well, so here's what I'm good with. I will always maintain consistency in government. Okay, integrity in government. Every single situation I look at, I have to figure out how to best manage the city for the people we serve. That's the people the fire department protects right now.
Stand by.
And our taxpayers.
Stand by. Would you hold through because I have one more big question that I want to ask you on the other side.
Good Friday. I'm off.
It's coming up. Stand by here.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
It's time to fish or cut bait. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump will move on from Russia-Ukraine peace talks soon if there's no progress made, says Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
We need to determine very quickly now, and I'm talking about in a matter of days, whether or not this is doable over the next few weeks. If it is, we're in. If it's not, then we have other priorities to focus on as well.
Secretary Rubio leaving Paris today after meetings with leaders from France, the UK, Germany, and Ukraine, saying the U.S. is ready to help if Russia or Ukraine are serious about peace. Ukraine has rejected Russian demands to give up occupied territory. It's not known yet why a 20-year-old student may have shot and killed 2 people, wounding 6 on campus in Tallahassee, Florida.
The son of a sheriff's deputy is behind bars accused of a deadly mass shooting at Florida State University. The 20-year-old suspected gunman opened fire outside the student union on the Tallahassee campus, killing 2 people and injuring 6 others. Officers who arrived at the scene quickly shot and injured the gunman. Investigators say he used one of his mother's weapons. She served with the Leon County Sheriff's Office for 18 years.
Fox's Chanley Painter. A man deported from Maryland has been allowed to meet at a hotel with a senator who went to see him in El Salvador and was earlier turned away at the prison where the man's being held.
Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen posting on X that he has met with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. You may recall Garcia was deported and brought to a prison in El Salvador despite a court order preventing his deportation. The U.S. Supreme Court ruling last week that the Trump administration should affect his return to this country if at all possible.
Fox's Kevin Cork. A resentencing hearing for Eric and Lyle Menendez in Los Angeles is on hold till May 9th, while the parole board's risk assessment reports are reviewed by their attorneys, prosecutors, and the judge. The brothers are serving life sentences for their parents' murder in 1989. America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
A major decrease in illegal border crossings has lightened the load of border agents.
Mike Banks is the chief of the U.S. Border Patrol and discussed that recently on Fox's America's Newsroom.
The Border Patrol morale is going through the roof.
He adds that the proof is in the numbers. In locations like Eagle Pass, Texas, which was seeing 3,000 to 4,000 migrant encounters a day.
Right now, Eagle Pass, Texas is seeing an average of 18 apprehensions a day and very few getaways, little to none, some days 0 getaways.
Banks also says that less agents are leaving the patrol due to the turnaround in numbers.
We're seeing agents pull retirement paperwork in order to continue staying in.
The administration says it will continue to work to secure the border and deport undocumented migrants from the U.S. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Drug maker Eli Lilly reports successful clinical trials of a new daily pill to treat obesity and diabetes. Still needs a review and approval by the Food and Drug Administration to potentially replace weekly injections of the same class of drug. A top federal prosecutor in New York is fighting a cop killer's release.
John Burham, the U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of New York, says in a letter to the state parole board that David McCleary is the worst of the worst. McCleary is serving time for the execution of NYPD officer Eddie Byrne. This is McCleary's 8th attempt at parole. He shot the rookie cop 5 times in the head during a gangbanger ambush.
Fox's Gary Baumgarten. The actor Haley Joel Osment says he's absolutely horrified at his behavior and apologizes for using an anti-Semitic slur against a police officer during an arrest at a California ski lodge this month. The Monroe County Prosecutor's Office says Osment is being charged with cocaine possession and disorderly conduct. He says if he'd known what he'd said in the throes of a blackout, he'd have apologized earlier. Chris Foster, Fox News.
We have mostly cloudy skies now, 40 degrees. Good morning, I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. This news update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. The Oneida County District Attorney's Office says they will be presenting additional evidence to a grand jury after Caitlin Connolly was found guilty of fatally poisoning Mary Yoder back in 2015. As we all know, that conviction was overturned by a state appellate court in January. Yoder was the mother of Connolly's former boyfriend and also her boss. Connolly has claimed her innocence for years. The field of Democrats running for the next mayor of Syracuse cut from 5 to 3. The Board of Elections there saying 2 candidates, Alfonso Davis and Jimmy Oliver, both did not earn enough valid signatures to appear on the primary ballot. A pair of local communities getting over $53 million in funding to help with water infrastructure. Sylvan Beach receiving over $51 million to assist with planning, design, and construction of upgrades at the Oneida Lake Water Pollution Control Plant. Meanwhile, the town of Mexico will see $2.5 million to install about 60,000 linear feet of water main to serve a new area. The Supreme Court will hear arguments on birthright citizenship next month. President Trump signed an executive order ending automatic birthright citizenship and enshrined in the Constitution's 14th Amendment. Trump wants to confer citizenship only to those who have at least one parent who is a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. Meanwhile, an American citizen detained by immigration agents for more than a day after a judge saw his birth certificate. Juan Lopez Gomez, who was born in the U.S., was arrested by Florida ICE agents. They charged him with illegally entering the state as an unauthorized alien. A local judge, though, inspected the birth certificate and determined it was authentic. However, ICE told authorities to keep Lopez Gomez detained. Your WIBX Weather Center forecast calling for a warmer Easter weekend, certainly than what we saw on Wednesday. Here are full details.
Clouds will increase from this morning to the afternoon with a few late day showers and gusty winds with a high of 67. Some more rain's possible this evening with an overnight low down to 59. A windy and warm Saturday with showers and thunderstorms at a high of 72, and then clearing and cooler behind a front into Easter on Sunday with a high of 53. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, we have cloudy skies and 40 degrees at 8:08. All right, in sports, where will Aaron Rodgers end up? He made an appearance on the Pat McAfee Show Thursday for the first time since being released by the Jets in March. And the veteran signal caller said he was shocked after being cut for the first time in his career. He mentioned he would play for $10 million this season and has had conversations with the Vikings, Giants, and Steelers. Rodgers has yet to rule out retirement as an option.
He is yet to rule out. Okay, so it might still be an option.
It might be an option.
Should be an option. I think anyway.
Well, and Kaepernick are starting the club. That's what they're going to.
All right, maybe they're
trying to figure out where to play.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Mets, Yankees both picking up series opening wins last night. The Mets snapped their 2-game slide, beating the Cardinals 4-1. Griffin Canning got the victory. The Yankees opened their series against the Rays in Tampa 6-3 to final there, as Waldo Cabrera 2 for 3 with a solo homer, his first home run of the season. The Comets wrap up their regular season.
Home tonight.
Tonight and tomorrow, home at the Adirondack Bank Center in Syracuse tomorrow. And the Devils start their playoff push on Sunday as they take on the Carolina Hurricanes.
Manansky, thank you for filling in this week. Don't leave yet. I know you have a lot to do. However, Scott wants to just say a little hello. Hello, Scott.
Hello, hey, Jeff. How you doing?
Good. How are you? I'm waiting for the punchline here.
Well, no, just in Kirkville, we always consider, the original cast, Bill Keeler's the adult version of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And, of course, now you're Mr. McFeely, the speedy delivery guy.
Okay. Just never know where to put that rim shot. I
really got the rim shot. And it was amazing because, you got Bill as Mr. Rogers and producer Dave as King Arthur. But, Bill, I got to tell you that when you guys were doing it from the basement of your home, we're kind of wondering if you're going to screw up one of these days and just kind of forget you're going to be on the air and show up in the basement with your skivvies and your bathrobe. But,
I did show up a couple times with my bathrobe, so that is
we're kind of wondering if that would happen.
Yeah.
But Jeff, it's good to hear your voice again, and it was always fun listening and being when you were on the regular basis and stuff, and so it's. No, that's
that's not a joke. That's serious.
That's not a joke. It's serious stuff.
Sorry, let's get rid of that.
I also have a shout out to my Barbara Jane the barber. I just saw her, and you guys are still strong in Clayton when they're up there at their camp. They can hear you strongly
Very
up
nice.
there. And,
very nice.
She once again she does great with my eyebrows. When you're getting old and you trim your eyebrows more than your hairline. So.
You want me to hit one there? Yeah, I could hit it there. Wow.
That's
right.
really,
Very nice.
But she's great. I didn't realize I've been going to see her for 43 years.
That's wild.
She doesn't look a day over 40, so that's the hard part of the deal.
It is tough, yes.
Yeah, it was interesting. We had a great season. Yeah, we got the Derby coming up, but using from a sporting standpoint, the Final Four and the finals is kind of the end of a long journey, and we had another successful season for football and basketball. And anybody who listened to me before, the clock's ticking. Okay.
Oh, the clock is ticking. Manansky. Time.
Oh, geez. I just want to say that thank you for all the clicks that people gave me. I got more than John Mannion and the mayor of Frankfurt and Ryan Noble, and hopefully you got Hochul coming on so I can outclick her.
Say goodbye to Jeff. Say goodbye to Jeff. He's
Jeff, have a good one there,
he's walking.
buddy.
Literally,
have a good one, guys.
He's walking out the door.
He's slow walking.
All right.
Happy Easter. Thank you. Okay, Scott. Thank you, man, and congratulations on a big winning season.
Yeah. By the way, we for the third year in a row, people that I do some consulting.
Yeah.
We picked the winner of the championship for the college. It was pretty
How
rewarding.
How about Davey? Pick that winner. That was
he's
incredible.
on NASCAR. Oh, yeah, NASCAR and golf. And if he picked Florida before the tournament started, you're rewarded handsomely for every $100. If you risk it, you're getting back $550. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
Great.
Yeah. All right, Scott. Thank you, man. Have a wonderful Easter.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, you too, guys.
All right. He even bets on how many eggs, the Easter eggs, the kids find. I mean, is it a full dozen or they only bring back 11? You'll find out as the season goes on. In studio right now, as the year goes on, is the mayor of Utica. We were speaking with him on this fire department issue, and you've kind of said that this is really a matter of, if I can put it all in a nutshell, you feel like there are members of the fire department who don't like this person based on maybe some discipline that's been handed down.
Well, so let's be clear.
And they want him gone as opposed to the position
Currently,
being
what's being voiced is a council person and the union president have brought this to the table.
That is true. All right.
Members of the fire department are respecting the chain of command, coming to promotional ceremonies, showing up to work, and protecting the people of Utica.
Fair enough. And then my final question is that I didn't share with you during the break. I just want to know, you have hired a public safety commissioner.
I have.
At what point do you hand the reins over to the public safety commissioner to handle issues like these so you don't have to be caught in the middle of it?
He is handling many issues.
He is.
Like
Explain
these.
that.
He has been integral in working with us to both refine and improve our 207 process. That's the when a fireman or a police officer, for example, is injured on the job, and make sure that both we can process those things efficiently and make sure people are getting both the care they need and the forms they need and all that can work. He has been integral in working with me, which, by the way, the contract negotiations, that's what we're trying to do right now, is sit down with the union president for contract negotiations. But instead,
and that's Frank Carcone.
No, that's Tommy Carcone.
Joking.
Tommy. Oh, okay.
Joking.
All right. No, but seriously, we are trying to sit down for a new contract right now because that's up. Okay. And instead, the Common Council, the union president, and now apparently May 5th, the union president and their legal team, the union's legal team, are going to have some meeting with the council in May about how we should be managing the department and giving advisement to the council on how the complement should be set as well. So there's one thing I'm concerned with.
Okay.
Managing the department, and the chief and the assistant chief are doing a stellar job. I support them 100%. They've been working with me since 2 Januaries ago, January 2024, to say, look, where do we want to go with the department? Okay, we want to strengthen the chain of command, strengthen department. And we understand that there's an assistant chief and a chief who are global to the department. Under the chief and the assistant chief are 4 deputy chiefs because there's 4 platoons. Okay, that's the platoon. Then there's captains for the houses. Then there's lieutenants for those companies. And then there's the line firemen. That is all absolutely necessary for the appropriate management and function of this department.
Fair enough. Mayor, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
And have a wonderful... will you pull out the horns for Easter celebration?
No, but my father, and I think my brother's coming up, they usually do the Easter Vigil at St. Paul's. They do the Masses on Sunday, which is phenomenal. Many of the churches around here have great chamber music, if you will. But speaking of music, you know what I want to plug? I have to plug
I know you want to plug coming up.
Utica Mayor's Benefit Gala.com. Go check it out. This year, it's benefiting Thea Bowman House, which is an organization that truly has been serving this community for 75 years, and they underpin support for families, young mothers. But their entire mantra, started in the name of Sister Thea Bowman, is to enrich the minds of young people and help families raise children.
When is the event?
It's May 31st.
Okay.
You could purchase the tickets at Utica Mayor's Benefit Gala.com. But what's interesting, it's always kind of the same thing, right? I've been to a bunch, and it's always great because you're benefiting something. But it's at Delta, again, just like it has been for many years. But we're doing a little different stuff with the entertainment. We have Showtime in the main room. We have Donnie King in the other room, which is going to be cool. It's going to be like very representative of his Brown Sugar events. We have Madame Zizi. Okay, we're going to do an outdoors cigar bar, outdoors under a tent.
That's really cool.
So we're really mixing it up with the entertainment. And then we have all of our sponsors that are coming out: Adirondack Financial Services, Bank of Utica, Riverhawk, Delmonico's, Rob Esch and MVG, Ocean Blue. So many
So many sponsors that are coming
all
out.
to benefit Thea Bowman House.
Yeah, all for Thea Bowman House. Go follow Thea Bowman's Facebook page. Look it up in Utica. Yeah. It's amazing what they do. That is all run by a committee. This isn't a city-sponsored event. So we're part of their committee.
Understood.
And it's the Mayor's Benefit Gala.com. But every week we release a new piece of entertainment, a new sponsor, really talking about how this event...
There'll be different places, different venues within the venue.
Absolutely.
That's
and
really cool.
It's almost like a carnival of entertainment.
I like that.
And we're trying to switch it up this year. We are switching it up so that it's fresh, and we've got different music, different entertainment, different food. And for example, we've got an outdoor cigar bar.
Love it. Yeah. Coming up on May 31st.
May 31st.
Go to the website.
Thea Bowman House.
Mayor, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up, some really cool stuff happening over at MVCC. The sheriff's still coming up. And this guy, Adam Vanderhoof, is starting up another a news service once again that did exist. And we'll explain coming up at WIBX.
In life, we're often faced with difficult decisions. When it comes to caring for our loved one, the choice can be overwhelming. But amidst the uncertainties, there is one decision that stands out as an act of profound love and gratitude: choosing hospice care. Hospice care isn't just about medical support. It's about honoring the journey of those who've given their all to their families. It's about providing comfort, dignity, and peace in their final days, surrounded by loved ones. Choosing hospice is a way to give back to someone who has selflessly given their life to others. At Hospice and Palliative Care, we understand the weight of this choice. Our compassionate team is here to guide you through every step of the journey, providing personalized care that respects the individuality and dignity of your loved one. When it's time to say goodbye, choose hospice care. Choose love. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties. Visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call 315-735-6484.
When you need us most.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow by New Nordic. Millions of men and women around the world trust Hair Grow. With its patented tocotrienol complex, Hair Grow naturally reduces inflammation in the scalp and is clinically proven to promote new hair growth and increase hair count in as little as 4 months. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Are your tires tough enough for the journey ahead? The Nokian Tires Outpost tire is strong enough for getaways, but comfortable for the daily grind. The Outpost is infused with puncture-resistant fibers, assembled in North America, and covered by a pothole protection warranty. Extend your adventures with the Nokian Tires Outpost.
Find Nokian Tires Outpost tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
It's business as usual in Herkimer at Steve Ponte Chevy, where we're still giving great deals. All remaining 2024 Chevy Tahoes, 0% financing for up to 60 months.
That's right, Steve. Right now, you can lease a brand new 2025 Chevy Equinox all-wheel drive for only $349 a month. Or how about a Chevy Silverado Crew Cab 25 for only $429 a month? Or finance it for 72 months at 2.9%.
See what our customers always say?
It's always easy to do business right here at Steve Ponte Chevy in Herkimer.
Customer must qualify for top-tier credit with GM Financial. Equinox and Silverado must have Chevy lease in household. Silverado must qualify for trade assistance. Lease term is 3 years, 10,000 miles per year. All taxes and fees plus $3,000 cash or trade equity due on delivery. Must take delivery by April 30th. Together, let's drive. Steve Ponte Chevrolet in Herkimer. Visit us today or online at StevePonteChevy.com. That's StevePonteChevy.com.
The cost of everything is up these days, and let's face it, you've been dreaming of a nice payday. Well, your prayers are being answered with Win Keeler's Cash. Win Keeler's Cash is back, and we're giving away even more money every weekday at the top of the hour, every hour from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Listen for the cash code and enter it on WIBX950.com. Every entry brings you closer to winning the $1,000 daily prize and puts you in the running to be a $10,000 lucky winner. Win Keeler's Cash on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
All right, I got to to take care of a couple of things. I should be able to get to you, Paul, within a good 20 minutes. Stand by. You all right over there? Listen, Daylight, couple of housekeeping things. Daylight Donuts in New Hartford is the official coffee of this program, and they serve Seattle's best. It is awesome. They make their donuts and croissants and even their bagels fresh every day. There's a new breakfast sandwich you can try. Egg white frittata made with egg white, spinach, tomato, and feta cheese. So good. And I would suggest eating that on a croissant. So good. And the snowflake rolls for Easter dinner. You can still sign up today. They'll be ready tomorrow and Sunday to pick up for your Easter dinner, but you must sign up in advance. Call them today. I did not turn you on. Are you okay now?
No, I'm just
You're up now.
You got everybody up but me.
Everybody but you. It's Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And one more, if I could. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills, accepting new patients right now. Dr. Shemalinsky, Dr. Zelinsky, all under one roof. Everything from counseling to if you have a particular issue that you really need a second opinion on, call the Falcon Clinic today. Or has your doctor retired or you're going somewhere else and you need a new family doctor, call them today. The Falcon Clinic is conveniently in Washington Mills. Call 315-507-4751, the Falcon Clinic. Also in studio here this morning is Paul Buckley.
Good morning, William.
And from MVCC, Randy Van Wagner. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Dr. Randall Van Wagner.
Nice and tight on the microphone, if you could.
You bet.
Dr. Van Wagner, good morning.
Thank you. Yeah, formality's big for me. Yeah.
Well, I know that that is a little sarcasm from you right there. Okay, this is really, we were talking with the mayor, not on air, but about this. And Paul, you've set this up. There's a really cool alliance that is happening right now with MVCC. Talk about that.
Started years ago with David Ruffero, and Scott Selden is the graphic design teacher up there. So we wanted a logo for the city, and Dave Ruffero came up with the Renaissance City, which I loved. Then Paul Mary comes in and says, Utica starts with you, and the kids design a logo around these things.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at it again. With Mayor Galimi and the kids. We just went over there yesterday to see how the progress is, and it blew the mayor away. He just
showed me pictures of many of the logos.
The kids are very talented.
He's so blown away by this. He's kind of changing it up a little bit, right?
Yes, he's taking a different avenue, which I'm excited about, because it'll be like we're not branding Utica, but that's just a constant reminder of what's going on here in Utica. And these kids are so talented, and they're from all over the area. They're not just from Utica; they're from all over the place. And it's just another department in the School of Art that MVCC offers, and the school over just blew me away. I was just over there, I started going over there. They're highlighted on the City Limits show.
I was going to say, you ought to put them on City Limits.
They're on right now. They're on this month.
Great idea, Bill.
Nice, huh?
I'm glad I thought of it. But anyway, it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating what they offer over there for a 2-year college, and they went out and they spent all this money on the arts, and they have a staff that's unbelievable, very talented instructors. And the kids are so excited and so dedicated and focused on their art. It was so refreshing to see.
Yeah.
And it was a great thing. And it's all up this guy right here. So let him talk about this.
Yeah. Dr. Randy Van Wagner.
Is there a doctor in the house?
Good morning.
Good morning.
So it is, we've talked before about this and the importance of community colleges in a community. You really react to the community as time goes on what are the needs, what do we need to teach, what positions are there out there that you could train and teach, and you act very, very quickly to that.
Yeah, thank you. We talk a lot about our technical programs and whether manufacturing, healthcare, all of those things. But actually, if you look over the last probably 5 to 7 years, we're seeing some of the greatest enrollment increases in our School of Art. We just added a fashion design program this fall. Enrollment's already looking good there. But going back, as he said, almost 20 years to David Ruffero, that the School of Art, the graphic design program, Scott Selden and the faculty there, just connecting our students, bringing the community to the curriculum to life through connections in the community like this.
And these can be, there are a lot of companies that try to do the graphic arts on their own. But if you graduate with a graphic arts degree and you're good at what you do, you can land in some really good places.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
You know, for example, I don't know if you've been in the Adirondack Bank Center in recent years.
I think I might have been there.
Yeah,
one or
so
two times.
A few games.
The graphic designer is an
Eric Kawika.
Yep. He's an MVCC alum.
That's awesome.
Yep, all that was done by an MV alum.
And that is the way this is supposed to work, right?
That's right. There you go.
That is the importance of a community college.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Keep them here. Keep them here.
And what is being done? So the mayor's changed this up. How is he changing it up?
Yeah.
Well, he's got he likes so many of the logos that he can't pick one, and he doesn't want to just pick one.
What he's saying.
Yeah. So he's excited about that. He's going to come. He hasn't really revealed yet. He's still in the incubating process. But he hasn't really come up with the idea. But he's going to have something new and fresh, and so it's going to be great. And I think he's going to unveil it at his gala at the end of that thing. But to get the kids, I've been working with the kids. I put them on film crews as extras or grips, gaffers, whatever they want to do when the movies are in town.
Yeah.
And I got a couple coming in now, and I just want to get this one plug in there. If anybody's got a school bus any kind of bus that seats about 18 people, I need it. Then you get a hold of me at City Hall. Right? They'll rent the.
So you need one of the smaller buses.
Well, yeah, something like that, whatever. I mean,
it could be a larger one.
It's a whole new concept of a show, and there's going to be like 18 contestants on it, and so
oh my gosh,
it's going to be fun. So that, but I put the kids I can't say the students.
Is it somebody's producing a show?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then there's also I just met with a guy from New York City yesterday, and he asked me what we could give him. I said the city's yours, and so he got all excited about that.
Okay.
So there should be some stuff coming up.
There is a Fox News is doing like a reality show. I was reading about this the other day, where they have placed people in upstate New York in the North Country without any contact with anyone, and they've been there for quite some time, certainly before the election, and they have no idea what has gone on in the world. No idea that Trump is president, no idea of the change, and they're building a reality show around the fact that they don't know anything.
Well, those reality shows are all fake anyway. They're all scripted.
It is. I've always wondered why does there have to be a writer on the reality show?
Well, they have to make the twists and turns and stuff like that. So I don't buy a minute of that. Are you referring to Naked and Afraid, Bill?
You mean the housewives of whatever?
Oh my
don't
goodness,
really fight.
Please, let's not even discuss that show.
Yeah, craziness.
That's
but it's interesting that's in upstate New York, and you never know, it may drift down here as well.
But to get back to the School of Art,
clearly you don't know nothing about that because you're moving right on away from it. I didn't know they might be working with
I'm here for a purpose.
You are.
And I mean, you're cutting into my time.
Sorry, my apologies. I think the logo concept is awesome, and the work that you're doing with MV and its students is
it's just
incredible.
one department. But so I was going to say the video production works hand in hand with the theater group. So they have it's like a stocked pond. I mean, these kids these students, they want actors. They just go there and everybody has to do that. Everybody has to get their feet wet somehow in acting, graphic design, the theater, the animation, stuff like that. So it's unbelievable. I was amazed, and I'm so excited about the whole program that and thanks to this guy right here, the doctor. It's unbelievable. But I mean, the instructors there are so talented and they're so dedicated to their students, and the students are like they're I used to have interns come to work with me on City Limits, and they sit there all day on their phones, just tweaking, with their and they weren't paying attention. So I got no more interns. I don't do any more interns.
Okay.
But these kids,
it's students, a different story.
These students are like they're dedicated, they're interested, they're 100%, 200% focused on what they're doing, and they're very good at it.
So that element of MV has been tremendously successful, and so is your athletic department.
Yeah. How about 2 national championships in the same year?
How about that?
That's
pretty
men's
big.
soccer, and of the 24 previous national championships we've won, only one was a men's team. They were 23 women's teams.
That's amazing.
Won national championships.
Wow.
So men's soccer in the fall and men's basketball here in the winter.
Pretty awesome. Congratulations on that.
You.
So, all right. Anything else you want to add?
Well, yeah. We're talking about, like I said,
he's got 20 minutes left, right?
He does.
20.
I think he plans to go till 9. Yeah.
Did you get lunch?
Like I said, I do have some movies coming in. and I need some help. So like the bus thing is one thing, and we'll be looking for some extras and stuff like that. So it's
that's really happening here. Can you tell us more about the bus thing? What they're going to be doing?
Well, it's going to be like kind of like a natural a beauty pageant, I guess. I'm not really sure about the whole concept because I'm just giving little.
So it's like a reality contest.
Yes,
program?
Yes, exactly. And I've gotten some. They want to get the girls in the farms and stuff like that. So I reached out to John Caladona, Clinton Tractor. I love Johnny, love you, buddy. And he's helped out immensely with that. And they need transportation for these girls to go back and forth or whatever. Right. So they're going to be here in May.
Okay.
And so they'll be on the show and stuff like that. So it's interesting. I've never seen the concept before, so it'll be a whole new thing for me.
All right, cool.
And I'm very excited about the whole thing. And,
is Sofranio an MV grad? Sofranio Vasquez?
No, I don't think, is he Sofranio?
Not that I know.
Okay, I thought he'd gone to MV.
Coming up too, isn't he?
Yeah, they will be announcing, and we'll have him on Monday to talk about it. It'll be the Stanley Theater. So a lot of great things happening in the area, which is good.
Great things happening. Listen, if these kids are on the fence of where they want to go to school, go to MVCC. They'll teach you. They'll discover what your talents are. Then you can take it from there, or just like stay right there, or stay right in the area and develop it. Because a lot of these graduates have started their own little art companies, little photographers, videographers, graphic designers, actors, actresses, that kind of stuff. It's amazing how they're coming out.
We're running an artist refinery at the Thinkubator right now of how to turn your art into a business.
That's really and again that's that is the role of a community college. It is so important to how it's one thing to go off and get a degree, but to be able to see how you can apply that and turn that into if you can have a job that you love, that changes your world.
There you go. No doubt about it.
By the way, I was just reminded the most important graduate of MV was my wife. Was an MV graduate.
Very good.
So I'd be in big trouble if I didn't mention that.
Thank you very much. That's
all
great.
Right. Thank you, guys.
Wait a minute, I have one last plug. May 12th.
Your time is
No, it is not. No, it is not. May 12th. There's a film festival there, the students' films.
Yes.
It'll be at the Schaefer Theater. I believe it's May 12th, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Check it out. See what these young kids are up to because there's talent. There's a flood of talent in this area, and it should be seen, heard, and whatever. And just appreciate it because it's right in our backyard.
Right in our backyard. All right.
Fantastic.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right.
I got 25 minutes.
We'll break. And so speaking of doing things in the area, there's a guy that's starting up or restarting, I believe it is, a news service.
Thank you,
YouTube online, just one more element of news in the area. And Sheriff Machel on the state budget. We'll get to that before we head off to Easter weekend on WIBX.
Hi everyone, it's Lisa from Fit Body Bootcamp. Have you been feeling a little stressed lately? Well, my friends, you are not alone. April is National Stress Awareness Month, and at Fit Body, we help our members de-stress by providing challenging 30-minute fat-burning workouts and exceptional nutrition support to help you boost your mood and help you de-stress. But don't wait, join us today in Clinton or Whitesboro, and let us bring some happiness into your life. Your first 3 sessions are free. See you soon.
Are your tires tough enough for the journey ahead? The Nokian Tires Outpost tire is strong enough for getaways, but comfortable for the daily grind. The Outpost is infused with puncture-resistant fibers, assembled in North America, and covered by a pothole protection warranty. Extend your adventures with the Nokian Tires Outpost.
Find Nokian Tires Outpost tires at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com.
The Temptations. And the Four Tops. Celebrating 40 years of Temptations and Four Tops. April 27th at Turning Stone Resort Casino. Plus celebrating 60 years of the iconic hit, My Girl. Tickets on sale now at turningstone.com. Come celebrate 40 years of magic. The Temptations, the Four Tops.
Don't miss Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event. We're giving you the best deals of the season on all of our inventory. Thousands of used and new equipment in stock, all in one location. Get 0% financing on new Ferris commercial mowers, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland equipment. And trailers and used equipment as low as 5.49%. Restrictions apply. We're giving you the best deals of the season. It's Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
When it comes to the ones we love, their comfort and dignity matter most. That is why hospice and palliative care is here for you. When you want your loved ones' wishes to be honored, when you want them to be comfortable, safe, and secure, and when you want them to be wherever they call home, hospice and palliative care is the right choice. Our team of professional doctors, nurses, social workers, and bereavement counselors are dedicated to providing compassionate care every step of the way. At hospice, your loved one is not alone, and neither are you. We are just a phone call away, ready to support you through this journey. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison County for the comfort and dignity your loved ones deserve. For more information, visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call us today at 315-735-6484. Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties.
When you need us most.
Before you do the bumper, why don't I do this? I want to tell you about a really amazing service that's available out there. If you're doing a project, say maybe you're replacing a sidewalk, or you're adding a patio, or you need a concrete pad of some sort, but you don't need the big cement truck to come in. You don't want to have to go with bags of Quikrete because that stuff just doesn't last. There is a new service from Mohawk Valley Manufacturing. It is a smaller size cement truck that can fit into areas that, believe it or not, you will not get the big trucks into, and they can go almost anywhere. And there is no minimum. You can get 1 yard of concrete. There is no minimum. And I believe it's up to 3.5 yards or 7 yards, whatever it is. They can just keep coming all day long if you want it. But there's no, oftentimes with the big trucks, it'll be a 7-yard minimum. Not the case with Mohawk Valley Manufacturing. Call them today or even text them, even with same-day service. Call 315-748-5886. Mohawk Valley Manufacturing. For the smaller projects, you don't have to have that waste. You don't have to get that big order. 315-748-5886 for Mohawk Valley Manufacturing. And it's time to shift gears, shift seasons, and into savings. With GPO Federal Credit Union rolling out an auto loan sale now through April 30th. Rates as low as 4.99%. APR for up to 5 years on 21 and 25 models from 2021 to 2025. Or you can hit the road this spring in the car you want. Thinking about refinancing, they have you covered as well, with rates on 2017 to 2020 models as low as 5.49% APR. It's all there at GPO Federal Credit Union online, gpofcu.com, or stop into any of their local branches. The deal ends April 30th. GPO Federal Credit Union, your journey, their commitment. Membership eligibility is required. Credit restrictions do apply. Rates based on credit history. Existing GPO loans cannot be refinanced, cannot be combined with any other discounts or incentive offers. Promo rate available March 1st through April 30th of this year. Rate subject to change and SUA insured. See the branch for full details.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, in studio right now is Adam Vanderhoof, and Adam is someone we had in studio. What year was it, Adam? Get your microphone on. What year? That was like...
It was 2014.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And where were you at that time? Were you in college at that time or in high school?
Just finished up college.
Okay.
I was a graduate of MVCC. Took public
You saw Randy in the green room.
I did.
Yeah.
First time meeting him. He was a wonderful, wonderful doctor.
Yeah, he is.
And I was in the area at the time, graduated, wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do, and so MV Oneida News was born.
So tell me, your coverage of Oneida News is really Oneida County.
That's right.
And explain what it is that you have planned and what you're doing.
Well, certainly. So if we think back in the 2014 timeline when I was creating shows, it was strictly about short form, positive news. And here we are more than 10 years later, focused exactly on the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the short form content that remains positive, that's focused on the things that people care most about in the area.
And I will say there are a lot of good things to talk about. right? There are a lot of positive things.
You can find positive stories in anywhere that you look.
That is true. So tell me what you did in D.C. Talk about that.
Yeah. So I finished up Oneida News, and I went out and started my career. I worked for the big guys for about 10 years or so. So I moved down to D.C. I got married. I now have 4 beautiful children, and now I'm back in the area. And recently, I've been really chewing on this for about a year now and talked to the family, and I said, this is a perfect time for me to bring back the show.
Yeah.
There's great stories in the area. The listening audience and viewing audience has seen things like Instagram and TikTok. They want that short form content to be able to find in 5 to 8 minutes. And so I'm taking my show, I'm bringing it back, and the reception from the Facebook and Instagram world has been incredible.
Listen, there is obviously there's proof that the 5 to 8 minute time frame is the sweet spot. Those are the videos that you see on a YouTube, and it's why podcasts are so big. It's why Davey produces a podcast for this program. I don't know how many times a morning, Davey, like 5 or 6 times a morning. So your interview will be in podcast form, because that's the shorter stuff is really big today.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And so not only will it be in podcast form, it'll be certainly obviously in video format. I'll be going to these local businesses, the local government, and covering a specific story that maybe the big guys can't cover, but again, always in the lens of positive news. And again, these local businesses, these local governments love this because they do have stories that they want to share, and I'm one that can go and do that.
And technically, the 5 to 8 minutes is really in depth compared to what you're able to get on TV or even on radio.
That's exactly right. There's no commercial breaks. It's strictly getting right to the point for what they care about. For example, we have the Oneida Hotel that's turning into that restaurant. And we've seen some progression along the way. I want to get right to the point of specifically, where are things standing today? What kind of impact could that have on the Oneida community when this gets launched? When this restaurant gets built. So very excited about that being on the first episode of the show.
When does it start? How can people find it and all of that stuff?
Yes, they can. So it'll be starting on May 19th. It's a Monday. And the show will air at 8 p.m. So you'll be able to find it on places like Facebook, which is facebook.com/Oneida News CNY. I think that's probably the best way for people to find it and understand what's going on coming up soon.
All right. So on all the platforms, if somebody wanted to be featured, how would they reach out to you?
Great question. I would say the same way. So if you're listening right now and you're a business owner, or you know of someone that needs their story to be told, you can go to the Facebook page and the message comes directly to me. And I'd love to look into this, to connect with that person. And if we can fit it into the show, I will certainly do that. And again, cover that story at no cost to any business, to any local individual that wants to be on the show. This is a free show that I want to air, and I have an obligation to bring a positive show to the area.
Nice. How do you make your money?
Through my career. So the career that I've been able to build up over the 10 years, I continue to be in the video streaming space for some of the bigger players. This is a truly pro bono opportunity. With that in mind,
this is a side gig and a give back to the community.
It certainly is.
Yeah, that's cool.
But long term, there's a day that I'd love to have you on my show.
Well,
That would be an incredible opportunity for me.
That would be really cool.
So. Yeah, so I hope someday that'll be something that I could have full time. The energy in a building like this and truly me building up to this moment gets me more excited than anything. So I hope that this can become something more long term.
Very cool. All right, Adam, great job. And we'll be looking for it starting in May.
Thanks again for having me on the show. That's right.
Adam Vanderhoof, and it's called Oneida News.
That's correct.
Oneida News /CNY on Facebook?
Facebook.com/Oneida News CNY. The show is just called Oneida News.
Got it. All right. Nice job. Thank you. Quick break, and we'll speak with Sheriff Rob Mashel coming up. This whole situation on the budget, they may have made some ground when it comes to discovery. Interestingly, we had someone on earlier this morning, attorney Frank Policelli, who said there shouldn't be changes to discovery. I know the sheriff will disagree with that, and we'll speak with him. Coming right up. And Sarah's Flooring Outlet has the area's largest flooring inventory and the best service and prices. If you're familiar with Revwood by Mohawk, you're going to get the 60-mile lowest price guarantee at Sarah's Flooring Outlet. American-made and an amazing product, so you're getting that wood look but exceptional durability. And if it's carpeting you're looking for, they offer Smart Strand carpets by Mohawk, extraordinarily clean, durable, and environmentally friendly. And you get the 6 months interest-free financing, always at Insera's, the largest inventory. Go to inserasflooringoutlet.com, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and again online, inserasflooringoutlet.com.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit bmecompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
It's time for Tucker Backyard Pools and Spa's annual chemical sale. It's our biggest savings of the year.
Now through April 30th, stop by our one-of-a-kind showroom located at 8086 Seneca Turnpike and save 15% on all in-stock pool and spa chemicals. It's the biggest savings of the year when it comes to your pool and spa chemicals. Now through April 30th. Don't have a pool or spa? Let us help complete your buying experience with our fully functional pool and spa display. Or use our interactive showroom and design the pool or spa of your dreams. Interact, design, review, and save with Tucker Backyard. Come visit us now till the end of April for our annual chemical sale with 15% off chemicals in stock.
It's our biggest savings of the year.
15% off chemicals in stock.
It's time for Tucker Backyard Pools and Spa's annual chemical sale.
Now through April 30th, we bring the fun to your backyard. Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, 8086 Seneca Turnpike, Clinton, 1 mile west from the Big Apple Plaza. Online at tuckerbackyard.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
And portions of the program as we head into Easter weekend, brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Having back issues or shoulder or neck pain, it may be the shoes that you're wearing, the things you have on your feet. The Good Feet Store can help you. They have and this is proven to work. If you've ever gone out and worn shoes that just weren't comfortable and your back hurt or your hips hurt the next day, this is really what they're talking about. They have an insert. It's a 3-step system, which includes strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers, and it builds up that support, your arch support, at varying levels based on what your needs are, and they help you improve and maintain proper foot alignment by exercising and strengthening muscles, tendons, and ligaments of the feet. It is a pretty extensive, you'll sit down about 45 minutes with them, and they go over everything and match it completely to you and your issues. Call today at 315-999-3910 and schedule an appointment, or just walk in. 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. It's the Good Feet Store. Could very well be the answer to your issues. In studio right now, Sheriff Rob Mashel. Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning.
Ears were ringing maybe a little earlier, just a little bit.
A little bit.
Let's start with Frank Policelli, who was on earlier, his comments about where he did make the comparison to Germany, the 1930s, as people were being marched in, their heads were shaved. The look was not good for the United States, I don't think. Whether these are gang members or not, the look was not good.
The look was not good. And first off, I have the utmost respect for Frank, and happy birthday, Frank, if you're listening.
It is his birthday today.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
No, I mean, those pictures were disturbing. Obviously, there was a senator that went to visit the individual there.
You have an interesting take on that, too.
Yeah, I do. I mean, we have attorneys who come to the Oneida County Jail every day. And family members come to visitation. Every day we have visitation.
Do you take the prisoner to a hotel?
We don't take the prisoners to a hotel, a glorious-looking hotel, and serve obviously higher level foods.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're not afraid to show them what we do and where we are at the jail. So, I mean, it's a little concerning to me that they wouldn't let the senator see, or
they would not allow him in the jail.
In the jail.
Yeah.
But they agreed to meet at a higher end hotel offsite.
Seemed like a display that was put on.
Just a little bit of a display.
Yeah. And the other part is due process.
Everybody's entitled to due process.
Yeah.
Frank brought up a good point. I did not know that. A little history there, especially with the Utica connection.
Yeah.
I did not know that. And I love history.
Yeah.
But I learned something.
Saying that Roscoe Conkling is the one who actually pushed forward and removed
change citizen
to person, which means whether you're a citizen of the United States or not, you are entitled based on our Constitution.
I learn something every day from
Due
the Keelers,
process.
from the Keeler
Crazy,
show.
right?
Every day.
Crazy world. None of it really from me, but we like to facilitate. All right. The other part of this is where you might not agree with Mr. Policelli, and he's basically saying the things that have been warned that are happening when it comes to discovery in New York State because of the change in laws. He says they're not happening.
Well, so you look at the statistics, and you can't run from the statistics. We look pre-discovery, 2019, and then we look to now. And we'll talk about DV cases in a second. But so I just went into another category because the data is endless. So in the larceny category, just for a quick talking point, in New York City. So again, we're using New York City because there's so much data there. That's why we go to them so quickly. The number of larceny dismissals went up more than 50%. So in 2019, pre-discovery, there were 3,386 larceny case dismissals in criminal court. Then jump forward to 2024, there were 7,168. So pre and post discovery, more than 50% increase, and it's all because of technicalities based on discovery.
Interesting.
Completely based on discovery.
What about the issues of, and a lot of times what this is DA's offices can't keep up.
That's a huge part of it. Because when, like anything, whether we talk, I don't care if we're talking about the SAFE Act, discovery, raise the age, bail reform, every time there was a major change stuffed down our throat with no input from anybody, the funding to make it happen, to be in compliance with the laws, never came with it.
Your offices don't get larger.
We don't. We're just the opposite.
What about the example that Jeff used on the domestic violence? Do you have any stats? I believe that was the governor's.
So I serve on the New York State. It's a fatality review team through the
You
office.
can explain what that is.
So it's a team that goes in through. We're part of the Office for the Prevention of the Domestic Violence in New York State. We review domestic violence cases that turned into homicides. We try to figure out what went wrong, how did it happen. So I see tons and tons of data. But I can, and I heard Frank this morning, and I'm going to disagree. The data we're talking about is criminal court, not family court. There is a lot of family court data.
Yes.
I'm not disputing that. But I can cite you actual cases. I'm not going to put names in there. But just to...
And if I can, in family court, you do see a lot of false accusations.
Absolutely. And you do see a lot of dismissals based on technicalities too. But we're focusing on criminal
cases.
One case, domestic violence case, was dismissed after the prosecutor did not turn over a handwritten command log from the police department where the officer merely writes their name, the defendant's name, and the arrest information. This information is duplicated multiple times in other police paperwork that was disclosed on time. Discovery was deemed incomplete. The case was 100% dismissed because they didn't provide this daily log that's filed inside the police department. I give you another case. Defendant was charged with assault for punching the victim in the face, causing visible injuries, was dismissed because the prosecution had not turned over body-worn camera footage from an unsuccessful home visit to check on the victim that had absolutely nothing to do with the time of the arrest. I mean, I have a list of cases. I could go on and on and on.
The reality, technicalities, which is how Caitlin Connolly ended up.
Yes.
It is important when a person's constitutional rights are being violated.
Absolutely.
It is important if they are shortchanged in being able to defend themselves and present their own defense. But what you're saying is there's so much pressure being put on police and the courts and the DA's offices that they can't keep up.
We can't keep up.
Insignificant things are being left out, and the cases are being dismissed because of it.
And I'm going to simplify this because I'm not an attorney, but I have been a cop for 36 years. Basically, the changes in discovery merely are going to give a judge the ability to allow things in that may not have complied initially if we can deem them that it wasn't done intentionally.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So that's basically all we're doing here. And the Sheriff's Association, which rarely supports the governor on anything, we came out unilaterally, bipartisan, both sides in agreement. State DA's Association. So we're not this. You know what I mean? This is something that is needed. And like I said, we'll be the first to criticize the governor, but we're also going to be the first to stand behind her or him, or the previous governor, some of the things he did, because those cases affect us all the time. We had a case here in Oneida County when Cuomo was the governor. He signed an all crimes DNA bill, which allowed us to use prisoners' database DNA to compare it to open cases. The minute we supported Cuomo on that, we stood with him. The day after he signed that legislation, we solved a homicide. We had a deceased person that was found in back of the Deerfield firehouse many years ago. That's how we closed that case. My point is, the governor's right on this one, and that's why we're standing by.
All right. Have a wonderful Easter.
You too. Happy Easter, everybody. Don't drink and drive. I'll be dropping the puck tonight at the game for Stop DWI night at the last home game for the Comets.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you. I want to tell you, Steve Ponte Mazda, the Move to Mazda sales event is, you say I can continue? No. Oh, no. All right, well, I'm going to have to. Save on new Mazda lease or enjoy 0.9% APR financing on new 2020 Mazdas, 25 Mazdas, CX-30s, 5s, 50s, 70s, and the list goes on. See the dealership for details. And as Ricky Z always says, come on in, let's make your deal on a new Mazda. And if you're struggling with that pain, and we talk about shoulder and back and neck pain, Dr. Timothy Del Medico has an awesome program that you can take advantage of. It's Revive Soft Wave Therapy. Neck, back, knee, wrist, arthritis, shoulders. It is proven and it works. And it may very well work on your issue. Increasing blood supply. It modulates inflammation. It's non-invasive. You can call today to schedule an appointment. 315-725-8427. And ask about the new $99 new patient program. 315-725-8427. It's Revive Soft Wave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Del Medico.
In life, we're often faced with difficult decisions. When it comes to caring for our loved one, the choice can be overwhelming. But amidst the uncertainties, there is one decision that stands out as an act of profound love and gratitude: choosing hospice care. Hospice care isn't just about medical support. It's about honoring the journey of those who've given their all to their families. It's about providing comfort, dignity, and peace in their final days, surrounded by loved ones. Choosing hospice is a way to give back to someone who has selflessly given their life to others. At Hospice and Palliative Care, we understand the weight of this choice. Our compassionate team is here to guide you through every step of the journey, providing personalized care that respects the individuality and dignity of your loved one. When it's time to say goodbye, choose hospice care. Choose love. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties. Visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call 315-735-6484.
When you need us most.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
A grandstander begging for attention. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. That's President Trump's description of a senator visiting El Salvador. In El Salvador, the man deported from Maryland.
Senator Chris Van Hollen said he tried to drive to the El Salvador prison holding Kilmar Abrego Garcia, but his car was stopped.
We were told by the soldiers that they'd been ordered not to allow us to proceed.
But soon after, the senator posted on X a photo of him and Garcia sitting at a table, saying he got a chance to meet with him. He also said, "I have called his wife Jennifer to pass along his message of love. I look forward to providing a full update upon my return." Garcia was deported from Maryland earlier this year. The White House has been saying that was due to a clerical error. The Trump administration also accuses him of being a member of MS-13. Jill Nato, Fox News.
The Houthi rebel group says 74 people are dead, 171 injured in U.S. airstrikes on an oil port they control in Yemen. U.S. Central Command says the goal was to eliminate a source of fuel and the terrorists' illegal revenue. Secretary of State Rubio says Ukraine-Russia peace talks have to show progress soon.
If it's not possible, if we're so far apart that this is not going to happen, then I think the president's probably at a point where he's going to say, well, we're done.
Secretary Rubio in Paris. Luigi Mangione is now facing federal charges.
He's accused in the deadly shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, gunned down late last year on a Manhattan sidewalk. The killing galvanized health insurance critics and led to a 5-day manhunt. Mangione is now charged with 2 counts of stalking, a firearm offense, as well as murder. The latter charge could clear the way for Attorney General Pam Bondi to seek the death penalty.
Tom Graham there. Classes are canceled at Florida State University. There's a vigil tonight for 2 people killed in the mass shooting on campus. 6 are wounded. So is the suspect shot by police. A 20-year-old student, son of a sheriff's deputy. No word on a motive. America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288. 800-893-2288.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
There's been some optimistic talk about tariffs and trade.
President Trump says the Chinese officials have been in touch with American officials over these tariffs and that the 2 countries could reach an agreement within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Yesterday, President Trump met here with Italian Prime Minister Meloni. The day before, he met with Japanese trade officials and spoke on the phone with Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum. Both the U.S. and Mexico described that call as very productive.
Fox's Rich Edson at the White House. Mississippi's highest court rejects a transgender teen's petition for a name change.
In an 8-1 ruling, the Mississippi Supreme Court upholding a lower court's decision denying a teen who is undergoing a gender transition from changing their name to better fit their gender identity. In 2023, the then 16-year-old's mother filing the initial petition, which includes pushing to change her child's first name to a more masculine moniker. While both parents consented to the changes, a judge denying the request, citing the teen's lack of maturity. The family appealing. The Mississippi Supreme Court saying in a statement the petitioner's primary appellate argument is that the chancellor had no discretion to deny the name change petition because it was uncontested and both parents agreed. But Mississippi law says otherwise. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
The fight for America's freedoms